RICOKNOWS and he's here to stay. On TikTok you can watch his plays. Sports betting while he plays the game. Big parlays for some big time change. In the transfer portal he evaluates, reviewing high school film to see who gets the slate. College football analysis will have you amazed. RICOKNOWS and he's here to stay. He's in the know. Yeah, he's in the know. Gotta get his picks, you know. If you don't, you'll be losing dough, and that's something that you can't afford. In the transfer portal he evaluates, reviewing high school film to see who gets the slate. College football analysis will have you amazed. RICOKNOWS and he's here to stay. He's in the know. Yeah, he's in the know. Gotta get his picks, you know. If you don't, you'll be losing dough, and that's something that you can't afford. In the transfer portal he evaluates, reviewing high school film to see who gets the slate. College football analysis will have you amazed. RICOKNOWS and he's here to stay. UFC, yeah, he'll help you win the card. It's easy, baby, he makes it look hard. Sports betting and the picks are free. RICOKNOWS and he's the GOAT, you see. In the transfer portal he evaluates, reviewing high school film to see who gets the slate. College football analysis will have you amazed. RICOKNOWS and he's here to stay.
Bro, I don't even know all these songs. That shit's fire, bro. Shout out to me. Good morning, MVPs. RICOKNOWS here. Going to talk to you guys about the results of the college football Saturday. Reminder, we did go 3-0 on locks for the UFC. Just like it said in the song there, I do pick UFC, so we had a UFC fight card to start the day. So we went really good there. Hit the 3 locks that mattered. Hit the big parlay. Shout out to the MVPs. Please, if you're skipping the UFC videos, you're an idiot. You're a part of the platform. You're an MVP. Get your money. That's where it's at. Nonetheless, college football, you can see the chart. It looks pretty green. Look, there's a couple things I'm going to talk about in this chart, and I'll break it down for you. We had 11 MVPs quit last night. 11 of you quit after 1 week or 2 weeks. RIP, bro. Carry on. We don't give a shit. We really don't. We know who you are. You college football, you blind tailers, you losers. Got nothing for you. Parlay bettors, putting shit together. Things with more than 2 legs is disgusting. And anyone who's just blind tailing the lock saying, yeah, I'm going to go win some money. No, you're not. The way it's done is you do your own research. I admire any MVP out there who does his own research, creates his own picks, and then when you look at your picks and you look at my picks, when we coincide, then we make that bet together. But anyone who's watching the games yesterday and goes, why was Liberty a lock? Why was Liberty a lock? I can't believe I put money on Liberty. Why did you put money on Liberty without ever looking at them? Why are you confused as to who they are and what they are? Why don't you know these teams that you're putting money on? That's an absurdity, right? I am here to help you. I'm here to do the best I can. And I pretty much did that yesterday. This is the best day we've done in the leans and coin flip columns ever. It's the best we've ever done. And somebody said, Rico, why don't you take underdogs? Well, you can see all the green. There's underdogs in there. There's Missouri State and Fresno State and Kent State with the backdoor cover. I believe in underdogs as much as anybody else when it matters, when it really does. What I would encourage you guys to do, if you're going to go out there and look for parlays, we tell you to parlay the money line locks over here. We tell you stay in this section right here. Could you imagine if you parlayed? You didn't need Florida in a parlay. It was a minus 1,000. You didn't need Kansas State in a parlay. Them bums. It's a minus 710. But you could have been there at 550, 630, 520, 350, 335. You would have been just fine. You would have been just fine parlaying all that. You can be down here in RICOKNOWS in my favorite plays corner. Every single parlay hit in the corner except for the lottery ticket. Shout out to Arizona State. But these 3 hit. What are we doing? That's 3 units flipped there. All you got to do is tail it. I don't know how to turn you any more green than that. I really don't know. I put it in a corner here, put my name next to it, went 12-4 in this spot. Parlay it. Be creative. I told you round robin it. You guys don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what to tell you. All right. So the chart went really well. Locks 8 and 9, not very good, but felt really good in certain spots. And one thing I'll tell you guys, why doesn't this work? Why doesn't blind tailing it work? I'm going to tell you why. Because not all locks are equivalent. They're all in the same section. And locks, by the way, terminology, we don't hide this from you, our goal is 60%. Lifetime, we've never been above 60%. So when you see a lock miss, you understand you're on the other 40% side. We've never hidden a number from anyone. No one's ever, it's just terminology used. Lean, on this platform, lean means it's probably worth a shot, man. probably where you want to be. Why wouldn't you want to be there? It's 53% so far this year in leans. Locks went down to 57, and coin flips are above 50. We're green in every section. So if you like a game anywhere on the fucking menu, it doesn't matter what it is, take a shot at it. We're green. We're above 50%. Shout out to UConn. If you like a game in any column, eat it. It's a menu. Eat it. But I can't do it for you. I can't push the buttons for you on your phone. I saw a guy go, man, I really wish I would have took so-and-so. Do it. Or don't. But yeah, 8 and 9, not great. Leans knocked it out the park, 6 and 2. We'll talk about the games here shortly. And then coin flips, 14 and 9. Really good spot to be in. Yes, money lines. We want to get all these locks right so you guys can feel comfortable just parlaying them in there. But I would say get creative. Find about 5 or 6 of those locks that you believe in. No, we're not talking about the minus 10,000s or the minus 3,000s. Like, I get that. You can't bet on them. They're just there just for, because I pick every game. Okay, got it. There's also 36 games the sports books cooked us on. And when I say cooked us, they didn't let us do analysis on those games. They didn't release the spreads until Saturday morning on purpose. So understand, the sportsbooks probably lost their ass last week, and because they put out early FCS versus FBS games, and we were able to do analysis and go look up the rosters and go do the spreads and go do all the, and then they lost their ass. So this week they adjust. Sportsbooks are a business. They adjust, and they don't give us any odds on the games beforehand. This is where being on the Discord server really pays off, because on the Discord server, we talked about it on the live stream while watching the fights. I said, oh, hey, guys, by the way, Minnesota's playing Northwestern State. They're covering that spread. I don't give a fuck how big it is. Oh, by the way, guys, I would probably take so-and-so to cover this spread against so-and-so. Just live talking about it. You're an MVP. Be connected. Get on the Discord stage. It's there. We're giving out everything we can. I can't do it for you, bro. Can't do it for you. Nonetheless, really rocked, went green everywhere on money lines. That felt good. Rico Knows Corner went 12 and 4. I'll take it. The lottery ticket's so close. We're going to do one lottery ticket every single week. Man, we got to hit it. Not so good on the over-unders. We'll talk about it. Talent chart. Eventually got to 7 and 6 on the talent chart. We are now at 50% on the talent chart. Thank you. We need to keep going. Yes, the talent chart is doing the toughest predictions. So it's always going to be in that tough range. It doesn't get any easy games. It gets all the coin flip games. And those are going to be difficult. But it's going to let us know who wins the games and who loses. We'll talk about how that adjusted. Knocked it out the park on moneyline underdogs. Moneyline underdogs, I put 4 games over here I really believed in, and all 4 had a chance to win the game. 3 of them did. That's 75% on moneyline underdogs. You didn't have to do anything yesterday except for betting those, and you would have been super green. But I understand, because the week before we went 0-5. So, hey, Rico, I'm not fucking with that corner over there. I'm not messing with that column. Okay. But if I'm taking a money line underdog, you might want to go tease their spread by like 10 points. And then you can believe in it, right? So Virginia had a chance to win this game, and it breaks my heart. Money line unit flips, still not in a good spot here. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm going to fix this. What I've been doing is I've just been picking the money lines that I believe in chronological order. So you can do one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the later evening, one late at night, whatever it is. And then I pick my favorite one at the bottom. This is my favorite one. This is the same moneyline unit flip that I put over here in Rico's Corner, just so you guys understand. But I'll adjust this and get a little more, I guess, surgical so we can get that section going. We're still only 5. We're at 35% on these, and that's not good. We want to be at 50 at least. So let's talk about the props. Knocked it out the park. Knocked it out the park. Never been so green in my life in props. Truly, truly honored to do this. Now, it's up to you guys. Some of you guys ignore this chart. Some of you guys don't even bet on the second chart. I can't do props in my state or in my book or whatever. Dude, I just make content. How you apply it, where you move, dude. How you apply it is your business. Call a friend. Hey, bro, where you live? Hey, is this legal in your state? All right, do this for me. Because straight across, all the way down on this thing, these are all the plus. These are all getting your money back. We went 21 and 9. 21 and 9. 30 different bets to take. 21 would hit. If you put out 30 units, you would have gotten back 42. You'd be up 12 units in that one section alone. Essentially. You'd be up 10 units for sure. Because there is some juice lost here and there. There's juice gained and there's juice lost. But absolutely crashed it. Smashed it. And now we're at 50%, above 50% in this column. We've never been above 50% in this column. If you look over here, last year it was 42%. 43% last year. And right now, we're just under 51%. This is incredible. For the amount of plays that we put in this column, pretty incredible. Another one is the leans. We're just above 50%. We'll take it. Last year was 48 and change. Right now, we're almost 52%. I'll take it. Look how green it was. What was such a smashing success in here? Because you see it's all negatives. Well, Rico, what is this any good? Listen to me. Straights on the first quarter went ham. First quarter spread went ham. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This was a half, but we'll take it, right? So we'll say we missed these two. So we're looking at 4 and 2, 4 and 3, 4 and 4. But then we go 5 and 4, 6 and 4, 7 and 4, 8 and 4. And we'll even count all these. We don't care. So 8 and 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. 11 and 7. 11 and 6, excuse me. 11 and 6 when predicting early spreads, not at the end of the game. 11 and 6, if you're betting straights, you're on top of the world. If you're betting straights, you're on top of the world. I don't know. I can't do it for you. And I know MVPs did this. I know MVPs bet the straights all the way across. They saw this. They saw that. Don't know. You don't parlay it and miss. We're talking about finishing above water, being green. It's an incredible feeling. Now props. These pipe dream props over here. It sucks. So, you're going to go red. We're at 22% right now. We should probably go up another 10%. Just got to pick the right shit. Just got to keep going. This is going to keep getting greener and greener as the weeks go on. We started off really, really bad. This weekend, we went 8 of 16. That's 33%. That's exactly what it is. So right on pace for what it's supposed to be is what it looked like here. We just got to keep hitting 33% every single week. This will eventually get there. Okay, so what does that mean for you? Well, number one, you guys got to listen to the assessment. People aren't watching the video all the way through, and they're not listening to me, and they're missing out on these opportunities. Jaden Skeet scored another touchdown. That's a plus 250. Obviously, Justice Haynes and Deion Burks were going to score touchdowns in a marquee game because they're NFL talent in a game full of scrubs. So, and I say scrubs, non-NFL players. So it's just this situation sometimes, you guys. Things happen. If you see the orange, those bets went void because Weisner didn't play. All right, cool. So, enough of the chart. Nobody's hiding anything from you. I feel really good about it. We're right where we need to be. 54% on the entire slate against the spread is probably the best we've ever done on an entire slate. Usually we knock it out the park in locks and then we're struggling over here, whatever it is. Look, man, make your own assessments. Pick the games you like the most, and then don't worry about where they're on the chart. Just worry about whether or not I liked it or not. And then you can rock with it. That's how that works. Some MVPs say, I don't fade Diego Pavia, for example. I don't fade Diego Pavia, Rico. That dude's a beast. And what did he do? He went out and won the game. Well, what did I have? I had Diego Pavia. I don't fade him. It's in the coin flips column, but I don't fade him. Love the shit out of him. I don't care if he's an underdog. Give me Vandy. And they went out and covered the spread. It could have been a lock of all locks. Remember, Toledo was a lock at the beginning of the week? Toledo was a lock at the beginning of the week. And then I moved him over here out of respect for Western Kentucky and just said, hey, but look it. Listen to me. I think Toledo's winning this game, and I think they're covering the spread. There's just no way Western Kentucky's going to be able to throw the ball on Toledo. Toledo has the best secondary in all of college football, in all of Group of 5 football. And sure enough, it was an absolute blowout. Nobody would have predicted this because Kentucky has been blowing people out the first couple weeks. I don't care. It's about talent. You can blow out a bunch of guys until I see you on the field against another team with better players than you. You can't blow them out. And that's why Toledo won so big. So you guys just got to listen to the analysis, and if it aligns with your gut feeling, then let's rock. If it doesn't, it would have saved you a lot of money. Because I know there's an MVP that bet on Western Kentucky thinking they'd cover that spread. Not a chance in hell. All right? So, cool. Let's go pull up the games. Excuse me for a second here. Meant to have them up. And let's go down them. This is the time a lot of you guys zone out and don't listen. And that's okay. You don't have to listen. You guys can just, oh, it's NFL today. It's NFL going on, Rico. I want to go bet on NFL. Well, go lose your money, man. Leave me alone. I'm going to be watching college football all day today. I'm going to be getting ready for the early video for next week. I don't watch NFL. I don't have time for that. That's just trash. You guys do what you want to do. So let's talk about it. James Madison versus Louisville. Louisville covers the early spread, which is what we were on, 13.5. Isaac Brown is him. Isaac Brown is a really fast individual. I do have notes in front of me. I'm probably not going to go into the notes every single time, but I will occasionally, so bear with me if I do a Control F. I didn't put them in chronological order according to this list. I didn't give a shit, bro. We're just going to talk. But Louisville looked pretty stagnant. They didn't look great. I think they were struggling initially, and the reason is JMU's got a good defense. JMU's got a great defense. What JMU doesn't have is a dependable quarterback situation. They need to stop putting Matthew Sluka in as a favor. He can run with the ball just a little bit, but once he's in, he can't throw. So now we have no threat to throw. Alonzo Barnett can throw his ass off. He can get passes to where they need to go. It doesn't matter, though. You're going to eventually fall apart and break. Now, shout out to the MVPs. The one MVP reached out to me and was like, yo, Rico, you said Louisville has elite quarter or linebackers, so I took the under rushing yards on Alonzo Burnett, and it won me a ton of money. That's the way to do it, man. Listen to what I'm saying in my analysis of players, and then go out there and apply that to a prop bet all day long. That's what non-MVPs do. That's what in a state where you can't bet on spreads or games, go apply it however you can or however you want. Shout out to Louisville. Your worst player touches the ball every single play. The backup, Miller Moss. He is a USC backup. That dude lost his starting position at USC for a reason. I don't think he's a very good quarterback, and I don't think there's a real high ceiling for Louisville. There's a reason Louisville's not ranked. Even if they do get ranked after this win, there's a reason they're not ranked right now. And it's because when you assess them, it's Isaac Brown. And that dude is blazing fast. And from a prop bettor's perspective, you can always believe in Isaac Brown. Now, we got lucky. He broke for like a 70-yard touchdown run at some point. But other than that, it was kind of bottled up, right? But the point is he has the ability to go do the damn thing. Shout out to him. Western Illinois and Northwestern. I hope you guys made a lot of money off this game. I know you didn't because it was in the coin flip column. But listen to me. Western Illinois is so terrible, and the sports books don't know it. They keep assessing Western Illinois like they were last year's team. They're not last year's team. They might adjust. But for those of you guys out there who keep looking, look for Western Illinois. I don't know let me see who they play next. Keep an eye out for this. They play Valpo. I wouldn't touch the Valpo one, but I think Eastern Washington should beat the shit out of them. Like, I think this is a bad team. Charleston might beat them pretty bad. Like, Lindenwood's going to murder them. Like, these are team games. These are weeks you need to be paying attention. Lindenwood, Southeast Missouri, Gardner-Webb, UT Martin, obviously. Go look for these spreads. They're not going to cover the spread. They're not good, and Vegas keeps evaluating them as good. Now, Vegas might adjust, and it's too late to make more money off of them, but they're not a good team. I knew this going in. Felt right. Shout out to Northwestern. Preston Stone. I think he fumbled twice in this game, and he just continues to just embarrass himself. I don't know why he can't play clean football. Even in this scrub-ass game, he's fumbling. It's terrible. This Wild dude, he's the transfer from South Dakota State. He's always going to be open. So just the only viable guy you can bet on in this offense is going to be Wild. I wouldn't even bet on Porter like that. I just don't believe in him like that, but there you go. Maryland against Northern Illinois. This was a lock. Maryland's going to cover this spread, and they don't. A freak accident in this entire game. It was the most outrageous thing in the world. I'll write my notes, or I'll go to my notes for this. I wrote NIU, who has no talent whatsoever, can't throw the ball to save their life. Quick, name a receiver in the game that caught a pass. Can't do it. Can't do it. You can name Telly Johnson. You can name a number of running backs from Northern Illinois that carried the ball and did well, but not one effective wide receiver in the game, and that's because hosts can't really throw the ball. That's number one. More importantly, though, this was about a coach at Hamburg. Like Northern Illinois did not want to lose by more than a certain amount of points. They were just out there to cover a spread. I truly believe that. They were playing like it didn't fucking matter. They would run the ball on 3rd and 9 and get a first down, 3rd and 7 and get a first down. They would be trailing and they have no urgency to go try to win, catch up. Nah, we're just going to run. It felt like two friends playing against each other. And maybe we need to start studying coaching staffs and how friendly they are with one another and how we're not going to blow each other out. We're just not doing it. And that's probably where we went wrong, but we really didn't. The read was right. It's Maryland had freak accidents happen. It's crazy. The freshman goes and fumbles the ball. Malik Washington, the quarterback. He goes and fumbles the ball in the red zone while running. He just left it on the ground. They had a missed field goal. Then the end of the game comes. They get a chance to make a field goal to cover the alternate spread, which we were all on, theoretically. And they go and miss that field goal. It's crazy to me. I will say this. Northern Illinois, very stout up front. Although I gave them a low rating in the preseason on their defensive line, you can't move that defensive front. It's heavy. It doesn't move. And then Roy Williams is a beast. He's been an NFL guy the whole time. I gave them an 8 on defensive ends going into the season. And that sounds about right, the 8. But the defensive tackles, I think I need to increase it to like a 5. They just don't move. They're fucking tree stumps. And when you can do that, it's difficult to get any room to run. Now, Maryland has good running backs. I like what Maryland's doing. They're still working on throwing the ball down the field. It's not consistent enough. Yes, Dorian Fleming gets 70 yards, but he had a bad drop at one point, and then he just, he just doesn't catch vertical passes. Everything's like a drag in the flats type deal. Obviously, this game, at the end, it was a heartbreak. We had a touchdown, and he threw the ball, and the wrong guy reached up and tried to catch it and dropped it. And that just sucks, man. That really sucks. So it's a miss. Hate missing locks like that, especially on a weeknight when we're all locked into those 4 games and we pick one of them. And just so you know, covering the spread, I got 3 out of the 4 right. I missed the one quote-unquote lock, but I got the other 3 games right against the spread. You go 3-1 on a night and you feel like a loser, that's a bad situation. That means you have money in the wrong spot, and that's all it is. It'll cripple you when you do that, and it hurt. Friday night sucked. All right, next game was Boise State. Stayed up late to watch the rest of this game. Did turn off the live stream at halftime. We were up 30-7. Really no doubt in my mind Boise State was going to cover the spread. Remember, in the preseason, I evaluated Boise to be extremely, extremely dominant and skilled, and they come out here and prove it. It's a little frustrating. But I had a first quarter spread. They were up by 20 at that time. The spread was only minus 7.5 for the first quarter spread, and it was a plus 124 on the chart. I told you I felt like it was easy money in the early video, or in the final video, excuse me. But that's what I'm talking about. If we come in here and we look, I was on a Boise State. I don't even know. Oh, I had to put it in this column. 124 was the first value bet of the week. A lot of you ignored it. A lot of you didn't take it, and it hit, and it smacked like a motherfucker for 124. So Boise's good. Now, they don't have any explosive players. They really don't. Chris Marshall's probably the only one. Former 5-star wide receiver transferred in from Boise State. I'm sorry, from Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and a JUCO in the street, whatever he's from. But so Chris Marshall's just too good of a player to be at Boise talent-wise, so he's going to dominate like that. He's going to take over games. He's a big guy, 6'5", can run. So from a betting perspective, Chris Marshall props are probably ideal. They are. Even if the yards seem a little far-fetched, they're not. He's going to get his yards. He's going to do what he does. Now we're going to go in rank order for the top 25. It's just the way ESPN has it listed, so bear with me, and then we'll get to everything else. So I might have to do some control Fs here on my notes, but I doubt it. Ohio State. Julian Sayin was perfect in this game. He had 1 incompletion. The 1 incompletion, I believe, was an interception, so the ball never touched the ground. Does that sound about right? It could have been. Shout out to Bo Jackson leading the game in rushing, had a little breakout game, and then Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate go out and get a bunch of stats on some scrubs, and they win the game 70-0. Congratulations. No sweat here, no big deal. Didn't learn anything about the teams. Speaking of not learning anything about the teams, Penn State did their best not to let you know what they're going to do, and they ruined every prop that we had on this game. They just didn't care. And we knew that going in. That's why we don't like the bigger spreads, but they really didn't give a shit. They really didn't, man. They settled for field goals. They're just chilling. They're in cruise control. And FIU, I didn't see anything too impressive. Jenkins is doing what he does, and we'll find out more about these teams in the coming weeks. La Tech played their ass off. La Tech against LSU. You might think LSU went out here and sandbagged it or whatever. No, Garrett Nussmeier threw 41 times. They were trying to be effective and throw things. The one thing I will say is that defense is stifling. It's fast and it's mean. La Tech is still a train wreck, and they're ecstatic about that last touchdown. LSU came nowhere near covering the spread, but can you really believe in La Tech like that? I don't know. It sucks. But from a gambling perspective, I didn't see anything in here that really stuck out to me watching the game. Nothing really caught on, and La Tech just still confused me about who they're using on the field and how they're using them. Shout out to Georgia. Did enough to win against Austin Peay. Wants to show nothing. Chilling. They did run with Nate Frazier in between the tackles, which was weird. Gunnar Stockton doing his thing. I like the fact that they utilized Colby Young more than usual. Got him involved in the receiving game, but this isn't a big deal. Austin Peay just beat Middle Tennessee State the week before. You can see a team that's doing well, I guess. They're doing better than the expectations, or they're playing above expectations. This wasn't a competitive game, even though the score is kind of close, and they didn't cover the spread. Speaking of not competitive game, Miami blows out Bethune-Cookman. Just back-to-back ass whoopings for Bethune-Cookman. Nothing to see here. Everybody kind of played well. Just remember, Malachi Toney, the true freshman wide receiver, is not a mistake. Like, it's not an accident he's getting all these touches, and we're going to have to probably pay a pretty penny to get him there. They're forcing him the ball. He's averaging, less than 15 yards of reception, but he's getting so many of them. It's just boom, boom, boom. It's great. So just be aware of that. Like, that's what Tony is. He's just a little slot receiver dragging around. If you didn't see him before, he's faster than anybody chasing him. So he's always going to be open. That's a bad little dude. I hope they figure out what they're going to do with Fletcher. If they're going to keep running Fletcher, cool. We'll be fading his yards for a while there. Shout out to Oregon, beating the hell out of Oregon State. The reality is Oregon State has no quarterback. They really don't. Zane Flores is the guy, and they can't move the ball to save their life. A lot of this has to do with terrible offensive line play. I think Oklahoma State, I don't think they can beat a Power 4 team. I just think they're bad. Bad football, bad everywhere. And then Oregon looks elite. This is the second time Oregon's absolutely blown out the line, right? The first week it was 28-point spread against Montana State. Then they get another 28-point spread against Oklahoma State. And Oregon is so elite. I don't think they're getting respect on these spreads. Vegas is going to have to adjust because Oregon looks like Ohio State. They look like any other great team in America. And they're actually putting it together. Dante Moore's playing well. Yes, they're playing scrub. No, they're playing a decent team with decent defenders. The offense sucks. The offensive line sucks. But there's no way you should be putting up 69 points and shutting it down going into the fourth quarter. That's wild. And that's exactly what they did. Oregon is for real. And I think it's just one of these situations where Vegas is still wrong about Oregon. And we might see some favorable spreads. And they're going to be big, but we're still going to take them because they're that good. They're elite. They're the best team money can buy. Texas, don't be fooled by the score. Texas didn't cover the spread. Arch Manning sucks. Most of his yards are yards after the catch. He doesn't have a strong arm. Parker Livingston is fast. He's fast. He's the only receiver I believe in on this team. Ryan Wingo can't catch to save his life. He's not built for the moment. I don't care. You can say whatever you want to say about this. Excuse me. Texas doesn't move me like that. Not even a little bit. And San Jose State, Walker Egan sucks. So the whole thing is just crazy. Scudero was still open. Scudero, whatever that little wide receiver, he was still a little crafty, a little open. But all I learned in this game is Parker Livingston is fast, and he's probably the only good receiver on this team. And that's harsh because there's a bunch of 5-stars, and you guys swear by them. But I just don't see it on a Saturday. I'm watching it, and it just looks like very terrible football. I'm watching every play, and I'm not impressed. Speaking of a bunch of 5-stars, Clemson trailing in this game. Troy gave them their best effort. Troy goes out there and does it. I was on the under on this game. I think we hit on the under here, which is fine. The reality is Adam Randall's not a running back. He doesn't have the agility of a running back. He doesn't look like one. He doesn't finish plays like one. And as long as Clemson doesn't have a running back, what are we doing? They're going to be very, very difficult to believe in. And the spreads are going to be huge. And I think we're just going to have to fade them. We're going to have to fade them. We're going to have to fade Clemson covering the spread. There's no way you get there. Crowder still playing bad. Bruce Crowder, shout out to Troy, not playing well. He doesn't have a lot of receivers to throw to, although Ra Thomas did show up in this game. We had a Ra Thomas sighting. It's kind of funny. But one thing that you're going to take from this game is Clemson does have a great wide receiver, just one of them, and it's Wesco. Wesco, as long as he's healthy, Brian Wesco is going to have over 100 yards in every game. There's no other viable option to throw to. It's the reality of the situation. You should probably start going anytime touchdown Wesco and taking his yards and believe in Wesco moving forward. Shout out to South Carolina. They played South Carolina State. Not a big deal here. I guess the bigger deal is they didn't score in the first quarter, which is a little embarrassing. But they did whatever they wanted to do. And there's nothing to learn from this game. Nothing. Illinois Duke. So there is something to learn from this game. First off, it was a lock. We took Illinois to cover the 2.5-point spread. Didn't give a shit what you had to say. I said Illinois has grown men. Duke does not. We'll take it. Now, when I evaluated Duke in the preseason, I talked about Duke's offensive line and defensive line being very comparable to anybody else in the world. I thought they were very good. And when I say anyone else in the world, I gave Duke 9s, which is right up there with all the elite teams on the offense and defensive line. And in this game, Duke's defensive line was so much better than Illinois' offensive line. And Illinois returns all their starters from last year and all this stuff. And all that. It doesn't matter. They were getting mauled up front by Duke. Duke just reset the line of scrimmage every single time. Duke looked like they could move the ball as much as they wanted. Duke. So what happened? I'm going to tell you what I think happens in a game like this. Is you go to halftime and the score is 14-13. And you come out of halftime and you get outscored 31-6. To me, that's halftime adjustments. That's depth. That's coaching. And you got to believe in the coaching staff versus a Manny Diaz coaching staff, right? You got to believe in what Bialima's doing over here and the way they're getting down. I'm with it all day. Shout out to Illinois. Very scary. Very scary from a perspective of, hey, can you make them a lock every single game? No. I was really impressed with Duke. And I know Duke got blown out. I was really impressed with the way they looked. They looked stout. They looked good. They just eventually wore down. But look at that. Fagan, 17 carries, 48 yards. You're a 6'3", 240-pound running back, and you can't get over 50 yards rushing on 17 carries? That means you would need more than 35 carries to get 100 yards rushing? You're averaging less than 3 yards a carry? That's fucking wild to me, bro. Or less than 4 yards a carry, excuse me. That's just ridiculous. It looks terrible. So I wasn't too impressed with Fagan at all. No, that's less than 3, right? 17 times 3, 21, 30, 51 yards. Yeah, less than 3 yards a carry. They still kept feeding it to him it's not doing anything. But it was enough to win the game. And that's all that really matters, winning the game. Mensa played well, threw much better than Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier can make some plays here and there, but that Mensa dude, he looks like an NFL quarterback. Mississippi State beats Arizona State. It was a lock for Arizona State. They had a chance to go out there and win this game, and the craziest thing happens. For whatever reason, they run man with the game on the line. All you got to do is play prevent, and they run man. And you got a guy faster than your DB, Thompson, out there, just takes off running. Look, man, when I assess Arizona State, their running backs evaluate really well, like talent-wise. Raleek Brown is so good. These guys can really run. Like, they got players. They don't have a Cam Scatterboo. They don't have somebody who can take over the game, move the chains, and win the game. They don't have that. So if Arizona State doesn't have Cam Scatterboo, and we know they don't, then they're only as good as their quarterback. And they're only as good as their receivers. Well, we shouldn't even say receivers. They have one receiver. That's it. You have Tyson, and that is it. So Jordan Tyson and nobody else. And that's difficult. That's difficult. You got one receiver, a lot of nice little running backs, and you got a quarterback that's got to run around and get it to him. I don't like the way Arizona State looked in this game, obviously. Shout out to Mississippi State for winning. One of the MVPs wrote, Arizona State and undefeated don't belong in the same sentence. If you're going to mock me, get off my fucking server, number one. You just be gone. You pay me $25, bro. That's less than $1 a day. Fuck out of here. Like, I don't need to listen to you for 2 seconds. You pay me, bro. But I can tell you that Arizona State was supposed to win this game. Come out flat. You're the superior team, and you don't get it done. On the other side, let's talk about Mississippi State. Let's not take away anything. Mississippi State has some good corners. They're athletic. I'm watching the speed. They're running stride for stride with everybody. I like that. Blake Shapen is kind of crafty, bro. Blake Shapen looked a little athletic out there. He's completing passes. The Levy's getting creative with the play calling, putting them in favorable matchups just by alignment. It's really good stuff. Mississippi State, I don't know how competitive they'll be in the SEC, but they can win a game against anybody if they just go out there and do what they do. Like, I'm serious. Fluff Bothwell doesn't look he doesn't look overwhelmed by the moment. Everything looks fine to me. I like Mississippi State a lot. I do. Unfortunately, Vegas respects them and doesn't give us lopsided spreads. But, yeah, not too big for the moment. Shout out to them. Speaking of not too big for the moment, South Florida. South Florida should be in the top 10 on everybody's poll. Florida was number 13. Boise State was ranked. They got two ranked wins. If we're going based upon results from this year and what we've seen this season, South Florida is one of the top 10 teams in America. Fuck are we talking about, bro? Fuck you mean? Like, these guys are for real. They went out there. They played stout defense. They were out there just scrapping. Look at that. Jaden Baugh. 18 carries, 93 yards. You keep running it. You keep running it, Sunbelt Billy. Look, a lot of people are going to rip Billy Napier for this. I think you're going about it the wrong way. I think you have to give Alex Golish a bigger job. I think you have to praise that man for what he's doing and how he's doing it. I'm not even joking. What an incredible, incredible performance. The stats don't even matter in this game. Let's not talk about the stats. You're South Florida. Your leading rusher is Byron Brown again. He's your leading rusher. It is what it is. You don't have anybody that can consistently go out there, move the chains. I don't care. They did it, bro. They did it. They beat Florida in the swamp. They go into this season with a gauntlet of games of Boise State, Florida, and Miami. And I said they're going to go 0-3. And I got South Florida in a bet, guys. I have South Florida winning 6 games this year in one of my futures bets. Yeah, I'm winning 6 games with Memphis. And I'm feeling really fucking good. Did not see this coming. Shout out to them beating Florida. Congratulations. Can't bet on anything on Florida. We're good. This is a big deal right here. Florida State beating the hell out of East Texas A&M. And the reason it's a big deal is because East Texas A&M played Texas A&M pretty solid for like a half last week. And that did not happen this week at all. Not even close. Careful. Florida State, you beat this team 77-3. That's cool. What did I see in the game? Thomas Castellanos still only threw 11 passes. He's not throwing it that well. And everything he gets for yards is yak. Deuce Robinson is better than anybody at Texas A&M. And it shows. East Texas A&M, excuse me. Deuce goes out there, takes a pass, and just keeps going to the house. Just keeps going out. That's cool. That doesn't tell me that we fixed any issues. And I don't know what those issues are. Florida State looks great right now. They do. They look great. They look like they're playing the part. Shout out to them. I have nothing negative to say. I'm glad they started hitting Deuce Robinson on some passes. Shout out to them. Oklahoma, Michigan. Called this one. Covered the spread. No problem. This comes down to an assessment of talent. This is not Oklahoma that you're used to seeing. This is a top 10 team talent-wise. Oklahoma, I believe on my charts. I forgot what I put them at. I think it's number 8 in the country. And then Michigan, you got a freshman quarterback. It's not going to be what you think it is. Now, let me tell you what I saw in this game, talent-wise, and the assessment. John Mateer's arm looked stronger than ever. He looked like he had an incredible gun. I think he's an NFL quarterback after that performance. And I think he's the leader for the Heisman. I just do, just by the competition and the numbers he's going to put up. Shout out to Justice Haynes. Good player, good running back, burst, size. He's going to do everything he can. He looks like a Michigan running back. That's cool. But my goodness, Deion Burks. I can remember the first time I ever saw him at Purdue, and I went, yo, that's an NFL wide receiver right there. And it still is till this day. Overcoming injuries last year, whatever. They got pieces. I just think Oklahoma's really mean everywhere. They're good everywhere. The weakest thing on Oklahoma is their coaching staff. How you like them apples? The weakest thing about Oklahoma is the coaches, not the players. Got to put the players in the right position to go out and succeed and make plays. But outside of that, I believe in Oklahoma big time. I thought the spread was disrespectful. How is Michigan supposed to cover this spread? They don't have the athletes to go score. They're not doing it. It's a freak accident of a touchdown coming out of halftime. First play, boom. Other than that, it's just dominance. Nah, I'm cool. Shout out to Oklahoma for rising up in the moment. Shout out to me for saying, yeah, they're going to cover the spread. We're good. Iowa State, Iowa. Shout out to the talent chart. And I told you, I don't believe in Iowa at all. Iowa has hero ball. And if they're doing hero ball with some dude named Gronowski, who I've seen play for 3 years now and still can't throw a single pass to save his life, I'll take Iowa State. And Iowa State covered the spread, 2.5 points, at home, undefeated. Talked about Iowa State's leading receivers are going to be their tight ends. They struggled to throw the ball all day long. Rocco Beck, 134 yards passing. Not good, especially on 27 attempts. It's a tough defense you're up against. But there's some talent gaps there, and eventually it came through. We did get a Brahmer touchdown. We did get Burkle to get his yards. Everything came true to some extent. We made it happen. Shout out to Iowa State. I'm glad they're undefeated. I'm glad they keep winning. You got to get it together, though. You have no running game. Carson Hansen, Abu Sama, both very at mid running backs in the grand scheme of things. And then you need some receivers that we can rely upon. And we don't really have that. We have 2 tight ends that can kind of move it. So it's going to be a boring, low-scoring team for the most part, especially when they're facing other teams like this. You got to believe in the under, even if it's 44. You got to believe in it. Okay? The complete opposite when you see Baylor and SMU. Knew it was a coin flip game. Said we're going to take SMU based on the talent chart. I believe I had Baylor on the underdogs that I believed in and put them on the underdog chart. I believed in them, and they're going to go out there and score. In this game, SMU misses a field goal in overtime. They missed another field goal, like all this stuff. Look, man, SMU had their chance to win this game. There's no No rhyme or reason why they should have lost this game, but they did. And Baylor is Baylor. Like, Baylor's going to score a shit ton of points. Baylor's offense is elite. I evaluated Baylor's offense as one of the very best in all of college football. And I sound crazy, but I have them ranked so high. And Sawyer Robertson is why. That dude went out there and threw for 440 yards on 50 attempts and 4 touchdowns. They are still feeding the ball to Byron. Like, Byron Washington, the running back. He had over 30 carries in this game and low 100 yards or so. Like, it's just, they just kept giving it to him. Just let him just chew it up. But the receivers, Cameron, Hawkins, like, they played well. They played well. Baylor put up a ton of points, didn't quit in this game, probably came together really well. And then on the other side, I want to talk about SMU. SMU only throwing to Ramilo Brenton, Joker, right? Only handing the ball off to TJ Harden here. That's fine. Like, you got to do it. Shout out to them. TJ Harden's a good running back. But where's RJ Maryland? This is the second week in a row you haven't utilized RJ Maryland at all. And this is a red zone threat guy. This is a guy that's going to get you first downs. We know he's an NFL tight end. He's one of the best there ever was. Why are we not utilizing RJ Maryland? What do we do to get away from him? TJ Harden has 19 carries for 115 yards, which is cool. But what's it hurt to give him 15 carries and give RJ Maryland 4 receptions? I don't know what you're doing, SMU. But still very good offense. Both very good. Now, the defenses couldn't stop these guys to save their lives. It's just elite offensive play calling there. That's that old school, I was going to say old school whack football where everybody scored 40 points every game. So, nuts. Speaking of scoring 40 points every game, Texas A&M has a lot of weapons, a lot of receivers, a lot of things going here. They did not cover the spread, so some people are a little disappointed in this performance. But remember, it was 30 points at halftime. I think they shut it down. They're up 30-6 at halftime, and they said, okay, enough's enough. We don't need to go there anymore. Marcel Reed played well. Margaret Craver played well. And the defensive line ended up with 6 sacks. Now, why is that relevant? This is back-to-back weeks. Utah State, Rocco Mendenhall. These guys have given up 6 sacks back-to-back weeks. That is terrible, guys. Teams should not be getting sacked 6 times in a game. So the offensive line for Utah State gave up 6 sacks against UTEP, and now they gave up 6 sacks against Texas A&M. There's a problem there because Bryson Barnes is not a bad quarterback for Utah State. He can run around a little bit. He can get away from the rush. But even if you get sacked 6 times against A&M, it might just be like, well, they're a dominant team. They got a lot of good. No, it happened against UTEP too. So that's miscommunication. That's just terrible. Whatever they're doing, they need to hand it off more. They need to do something else. But they've been sacked 6 times in each week. Keep an eye on Utah State. Their offensive line is playing piss poor. It's the reality of the situation. Speaking of piss poor, what's up, Ole Miss? Ole Miss beat the hell out of Kentucky. Did not cover the spread. Can we talk about this for a second? This is a bad beat. It was a 9.5-point spread. It was a lock. I'm on Ole Miss to cover the spread, and Kentucky decides we're going to kick a field goal with 38 seconds left and cover the spread. You motherfuckers, that is outrageous. This was the most outrageous, egregious thing you ever seen in your life. Back-to-back games now. Austin Simmons for Ole Miss has been childish. They tell me this is the youngest guy to ever play college football. He skipped his final 2 years of high school. It turns out he was 18 years old, but he skipped his final 2 years of high school to reclass and come over here to Ole Miss early. This guy is childish, bro. He's immaturely throwing interceptions over and over and over. He threw 2 picks today, yesterday. He threw 2 picks the week before, so that's 4 interceptions now. Bench that motherfucker. Stop letting him throw the picks because we got an elite running back at Ole Miss. Elite. This boy Lacey is for real. They're going to feed him the rock because they know their quarterback can't make smart decisions. Lacey, and more Lacey, especially in SEC games. You got to take Lacey's over rushing yards, even if the line is like 90 or 80. You got to, or even 100. You got to go. They're going to ride him, and he can run. Got a good offensive line. He finishes his runs well. Great forward lean. Love everything about him. Shout out to Lacey. He looks the part. This is a Missouri transfer, former 4 or 5-star recruit. Can't remember, but he's that guy. Really, really good stuff. And then Wallace. Wallace the third, only receiving option for Ole Miss. Always going to get somewhere around 100 yards. I think I had him for 40 on the chart. I believed in him. And this we smashed this game on the props chart like crazy. And this is where some MVPs are better than others. Some of you guys just sat on the spread and we missed and you're all bitching. This is when you know how confident I am in a game. Rico, how do I know how confident you are in a game? If I put in 4 different bets in the prop unit flips column. That is 4 chances for you to go flip units. You would have been up 4 units. I also had an anytime touchdown, also had Kentucky punting on the first drive. There's so many entries for this game on this chart. There's 6 there that you would have hit on. But some of you just went, oh, I'm betting the spread, and you lost your ass. Leave me alone. Speaking of losing your ass, ULM got no ass left. They got kicked, bro. Shout out to Alabama, finally looking like Alabama's supposed to look. They split, they spread around the ball in this game. They did whatever they wanted to do. ULM has terrible quarterback play. That's the reality of the situation. I know they're trying their best, and they have good running backs, and they got a good team, and there's no way that they should. This is not going to happen to them every single week in the Sun Belt or something like that. I don't care, man. They have the worst quarterback play I've seen in a while. But Alabama, my predictions still come true. I got a DM. Hey, Rico, 2 years ago, you said Jeremy Bernard was going to be the best wide receiver on this team, and he is. I don't want to hear about Ryan Williams. Jeremy Bernard is the best receiver on this team. He's the guy you can believe in. He's going to be scoring touchdowns. Alabama's going to use him. Go get it. Tennessee has a harder time at practice every single day. They played East Tennessee State. Shout out to Cade McNamara. He was playing in this game. So was my boy Jacoby Criswell. Both quarterbacks at ETSU. They both played well, but they weren't good enough to obviously be competitive with Tennessee. That's not happening. Tennessee went out there. Anytime I see Star Thomas get 3 touchdowns, I think Star Thomas is the most mid running back out there, and he's getting 3 touchdowns. It's just crazy. Joey Aguilar doing his thing. I hope they're feeling good. Brazel getting the yards. The only receiver really that you can believe in on that team. Good luck, Tennessee. They're going to have a tough schedule moving up, but I think they're a good team. So I like Tennessee. I'm probably higher on Tennessee than anybody else in the national media. I believe that. Speaking of being high on a team before the national media, what up? Indiana. I've been on Indiana for a while. They look dominant. I don't know what Kennesaw State did in this game. I got to go back and watch it. I'm gonna watch. You guys know how I rewatch the games. If you don't know, I rewatch the games as many as I can today, and then I go back. They're all recorded. They're all on our server here, and then I go back on Monday, watch Conference USA, which is a tough watch. ACC. Tuesday is Big Ten. The MAC. Wednesday is Big 12. The American. Thursday the Sun Belt and SEC, and then Friday I start off my mornings by watching Pac-12 Mountain West football. So I rewatch all the games all week long, and I'm looking for injuries. I'm looking for freshmen that come in the game that nobody's talking about. I'm looking for all kinds of shit, right? While I'm watching the games. I watch 2 at a time on one monitor, and I watch them at 1.5 playback speed. You can get through the games in less than 40 minutes. Put it 2 at a time. You get a conference done in about 6 hours. And then I do 2 conferences, so it takes me about 12 hours. When I go back and watch this game, I'm going to try to figure out why Kennesaw State didn't use Dexter Williams, because I only saw him in the game for a very short period of time. I don't know if he got injured or what, but we got to figure that out. Kennesaw State playing a different quarterback this game, and I didn't think it was very good. It wasn't a recipe for success. On the other side, Indiana's elite. And after the game, Kennesaw State head coach was like, yo, we learned a lot from that team. That team's very elite. That team's very good, and we learned a lot of things, and we took a lot of things away from this game that we can learn from them. Yeah, you can learn that Indiana is deep. They got all the players they're looking for, and they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. I think Indiana's elite, guys, and it's not close. We saw Wake Forest struggle with Kennesaw State. There was no struggle here. This was a complete ass whooping. I think Indiana's elite. Speaking of elite, Texas Tech. Shout out to them. They are elite. They got everything together. They're doing whatever the hell they want. They found a running back. This boy Hill showed up, 16 carries, 127 yards. They let him get his work and give everybody else some rest. Thank you. We have a lot of depth on this team. Coy Aikens out here celebrating like a madman. That's cool. Guess what? I predicted Kent State would cover the spread, and they did. It was a backdoor cover of 48 points, 48.5. We did it. Shout out to Kent State. 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. I'll take it. All right, Utah. Blowing out Cal Poly. Nothing to see here. Shout out to Utah. One thing I will say is Devin Dampier wasn't used in the run game all that much. They didn't need him in this game, so they brought in this freshman. And I really like the dual threat freshman quarterback. I wrote about him in my notes. Let me give you his name. Bird Ficklin. Bird Ficklin looked the part, throwing and running. So Utah's in good hands with this Bird Ficklin guy. Just remember that. You guys know the deal. If I mention somebody early, if I mention a guy that I'm impressed with, what happens? What happens? You tell me what happens. All right, Minnesota. This is the one we called in the Discord server if you're on the live stream. I told you Minnesota was going to win this game and cover the spread no matter how big it is because Northwestern State won their first game since 2022. Northwestern State's not a good team. Lindsey looked great. They go out and get this other kid running the ball. He's a freshman, Grant Washington. Former, if you don't know Grant Washington, he was a commit to Central Michigan. He didn't have a lot of offers, a lot of big name school offers or anything like that. So he's committed to Central Michigan in the recruiting process. Shout out to Central Michigan because they would have found a kid. This guy's a baller. And then after he committed, he still went to a Minnesota camp a couple months later. This was in last summer. Went to the camp, and not this past summer, but the year before. And he went to the camp, and then Minnesota, he decommits from CMU, and then he commits to Minnesota. So he's been here at Minnesota. He finally got some burn yesterday. He looked good. Kid looked good. Shout out to Washington. 20 carries, 126 yards, letting some of those other great running backs that Minnesota has rest because they do have a deep room. And he finally got some playing time. So shout out to him. He didn't look too overwhelmed. And obviously Northwestern State sucks. Another thing to take note about this, the defense for Minnesota played elite in this game. I know it's a shutout. It's a scrub team. Oh, no. They played mean, bro. They played mean. NC State, Virginia. I was on Virginia to win this game, money line. I think Virginia's a really good team this year. I like what they're doing. They could not stop NC State at all. They couldn't stop them. I was devastated by that. I wish they could, but they couldn't. Chandler Morris, you had all the chances in the world to win this game. And the final play, they're going to win the game. And they're at the goal line. And he throws to the end zone. And he throws an interception. He didn't need to. The drag route was wide open. They were doing these mesh drags underneath. There was a number 9 in the flats. And he's wide open. And it would have won the game. And they didn't throw. And he didn't throw it to him. It's just a terrible misread. It sucks, and that's what comes with having a gunslinger like Chandler Morris. But Chandler Morris was playing his ass off. Jamari Taylor was playing great. But this really comes down to, as much as I love Virginia and everything, it comes down to Hollywood Smothers not being stopped and Bailey being able to run around a little bit. I think NC State's defense is gross. Virginia's defense didn't stop any, but man, NC State's defense is gross. I don't like NC State's defense at all. You might have to, instead of trying to get these spreads right, you might just have to take NC State over every time you see them. Over. Because they're going to score. They are going to score. And they're going to give up a ton of points. I watched ECU slice them up. And now I watch Chandler Morris slice them up. And Virginia. Like, everybody can score on them. It's cool. Sucks. Hate missing that when I want to get it right. I want to get those right. Pittsburgh, Central Michigan. This was a lock. Pittsburgh's going to cover the spread. Very scary game. I want you guys to know Pittsburgh did exactly what I anticipated. I saw MVPs melting on the fucking server, and you guys are just females, bro. You guys are emotional about shit. Like, you guys can't just be grown-ass men, sit there and watch a game. It's 4 quarters. They're going to battle, and they're going to win. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Like, that's real. I'm watching Pittsburgh. You guys understand? Oh, what's Pittsburgh doing? Oh, Pittsburgh sucks, man. They can't even stop this. Bro, what are you talking about? Let's go look at the rushing yards for Central Michigan. 41 carries for 40 yards. I told you all Central Michigan is going to do in this game is run the ball, and Pittsburgh's front 7 is going to stop the run. That's it. They're a service academy. We're going to stop the run. We're going to cover the spread. It's a lock. And I'm so confident in this. Man. Not all locks are equivalent. Some locks are more confident than others. This one, I have no doubt in my fucking mind. And yes, Pittsburgh had to score 14 points in the fourth quarter to cover. So what? Teams got to score at some point. 41 carries for 40 yards. These guys averaged less than a yard a carry. Hey, you're talking to me about how my assessment was wrong. They averaged less than a yard a carry in football. You think Joe Labus is going to beat you? Fuck up, man. Holstein throws 4 touchdowns, 304 yards. They're throwing to Reed. They're handing off to Reed. They're throwing to Reed. They're throwing to Williams. I don't know, man. I can't help you, emotional motherfucker. Sometimes I just want to mute every last one of you dudes. Real talk. Shout out to me. UConn plus 8.5. UConn plus 8.5. That's what I'm on. I'm on UConn plus 8.5. Cover the spread just fine. I believe in Syracuse. I take Syracuse money line, but UConn's going to cover the 8.5. What happened? UConn covered the 8.5. Syracuse money line. Got it right. Get at me. Syracuse, Steve Angeli did play well at some point. He put it all together. He did have 20 incompletions in this game, which is insane. Syracuse is just going to do this, man. They're going to throw the rock like crazy. They don't give a shit. They don't have any other identity. They did it last year. They're going to do it again. They're just going to throw, and throw some more. 53 attempts passing? It's fucking insane. And poor UConn, man, they're just the little engine that could. They deserved to win that game. They didn't. Everybody's talking about these sprints they're running after the game for Syracuse. I don't give a shit about none of that. Should have ran some sprints before the game. Should have been running sprints all fall, all at practice. You don't impress me with that shit. All that shit for show because cameras are running? Nah. Shout out to Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell's always open. Doesn't matter who's covering him. Skylar Bell is uncoverable. Like, that's going to be a guy. Him and Fagnano are dudes you can believe in yards-wise. Believe in them. They did keep Cam Edwards in check. Shout out to UConn. But Skylar Bell, every single week, go look for his props. I don't care if it's prize picks. I don't care what it is. Go find it and take his over yards. Skylar Bell's going to do it. Shout out to him. Guess who's not going to do it? Liberty. Liberty ain't doing shit, man. Liberty frustrates the hell out of me. They are a decent team. I can't even say they're a good team. Some people are going to say they suck. They don't suck, guys. They couldn't stop Cam Cook. That's it. Cook, 29 carries, 195 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I was 100% right on my read here. Game results weren't 100% accurate. My read is Liberty's a much better team because I trust Ethan Vasco a hell of a lot more than I trust Gavin Wimsatt. What did Wimsatt do? Wimsatt can't throw the ball at all. He did run a little bit, but he can't throw at all. And I was 100% right in that regard. But you can't stop the running game. You can't stop Cook. You're not going to be anything. You're not gonna get it done. And we're gonna stop saying Jacksonville State sucks because if their recipe for success is just to run the ball over and over and over again, they're gonna be here. They're gonna be here. They're gonna be competitive. They got a good stout defense. It's gonna be there. All right. Temple. Back-to-back weeks, Temple's absolutely impressed me. Man, it looks like Keller is a hell of a coach and knows what he's doing. Evan Simon, this is the Rutgers transfer. 8 out of 10, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns. Last week he threw 6 touchdowns against UMass. UMass not a very good team. It doesn't matter. He's beating he's beating whoever's on the schedule, bro. And he's doing it well. I think he leads the country in passing touchdowns right now. Ducker did his running thing going on. Looks like a good team at Temple. They looked the part, and they look well prepared and look ready to do it, so shout out to them. We'll see. We'll see who their competition is and what kind of spreads we get. New Mexico, but I think they can score on. Let me rephrase this. I think Temple can score on anyone. No matter who they play, I think Temple can score. Ain't that sound crazy? But it's true. New Mexico, Idaho State. We took New Mexico, didn't know the spread going into the game. I just took New Mexico money line. I knew they were going to win the game. It was going to be a tough game, though. I had a lot of respect for them. Remember, there was a couple of games, FCS versus FBS. I put it on the chart, and I didn't put it in the locks column. For those of you who don't know, if you're confused as to what happened, when I make a prediction, if they don't give me the line or they give me a lock, then it becomes part of this over here. And we have to take the favorite at that point. And the only one to lose was EMU against Long Island. And we'll talk about that in a few. But some of the games, FBS versus FCS, they're the bottom 4 here. 4 out of the bottom 5, was Nevada, Sacramento State, UMass Bryant, UTEP, UT Martin, and New Mexico, Idaho State. These games, I thought they're going to be very close with an FCS opponent. And so when you see Idaho State and New Mexico, it's going to be a very close game, but I'm still taking New Mexico. That's what that underline means. So it's a coin flip game. Got it right. But shout out to Idaho State. They're not scrubs. They're 0-3, and they've been looking good for the most part 2 out of the 3 weeks. I think Idaho State's one of those teams it's just unfortunate. They're playing the big sky. They're outgunned, outmanned, and it happened here. New Mexico had to put it together in the 4th to really do this because it didn't look good for a while there, but they did put it together. Scott Trey Humphrey is still him. I like Scott Trey Humphrey a lot. 18 carries, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's taken over the running back room. He's the guy they believe in. We're going to rock with him, period. Shout out to him. Missouri, Kansas. I told you believe in the SEC pedigree. First quarter happens. It's 21-6. Shout out to Kansas. 21-6. I got a DM and a comment on the Patreon, on the homepage. You can go see it. Guy wrote me and said, Rico, I don't believe in your SEC hype. I took Kansas. That's what he wrote me in first quarter. And I started getting DMs. You dumbass. You made Missouri a lock. They're not covering the spread, all this stuff. I had 2 people quit by halftime. Before halftime, excuse me. They quit before halftime. Quit being MVPs. And I'm just sitting here. You guys are fucking idiots. You guys don't know what you're doing. Shout out to Jamal Roberts for helping us cover this spread, right, with a long run. But look, man, Bo Pribula can really play football. He's really good. And if you guys ever wanted to know, one of the assessments I made in the preseason was Kansas wide receivers aren't very good. That is an assessment I made because they lost their 3 starting wide receivers from last year, who, by the way, were the starting wide receivers for 3 years in a row. So now you got all new wide receivers. You got Cam Pickett from the MAC. You got some other guys I don't believe in. And I write on Twitter, and I said, hey, Kansas wide receivers don't look very good. I don't think they can compete against Power 4 teams with that wide receiver group. And then Kansas comes out week 1, beat Fresno State. Week 2, beat an FCS opponent, and the wide receivers are going ham. And I said, that's cool, but I don't think you guys hear me. Those aren't good wide receivers. And then you see what happens here in this game. Yes, Hanukkah scores 2 touchdowns, and everybody's excited talking about it. That's a tight end. These wide receivers were absolutely embarrassed and shut down. Nobody could get open. Emmanuel Henderson, I don't care how fast he is, not open, not catching any passes. Cam Pickett, completely shut down. Like, it's exactly what I thought. It's guys who can't do anything against elite opposition, elite wide receivers. Now, on the other side, I took Marcus Johnson. Can't do that. Can't take Marcus Johnson. Took a stab at a guy. It's really, obviously, it's Kevin Coleman is the marquee guy they're throwing to. 10 receptions, tons of targets, week before as well. Norfleet, I'm glad they finally got him involved. Shout out to him. 2 touchdowns. Big ones, too. And should never say that. Big ones. Oh, he's got big ones. But they played well, and I'm just impressed with the way Missouri hung in there, played together, and it's going to be one of those situations. I have Missouri winning 9 games this year, and this is one of the wins, and I'm taking it, and I'm rocking with it. Shout out to me. It was a lock, and shout out to every bum who faded me after the first quarter. You're not real. You're not real. Speaking of not real, Oregon State. I knew they weren't real. I knew they looked terrible in the last couple weeks. I don't believe in them. I just can't get down with it. Don't believe in all these empty stats. Yes, Malik Murray threw for 4 touchdowns. Where are the 4 touchdowns? Because I don't see any extra points. Are these guys going for 2 every time? Do they not have a kicker? Where are the 4? What is this? Why do we have 6s every time? Get away from Oregon State. I'm allergic to them. Stay away from them. Hankerson ran his ass off. Hankerson's always going to run his ass off. Cool. Fresno State gets it done. Let's talk about it, though. Fresno State has one of the worst decision-making quarterbacks you'll ever see. I'm serious. Oh, hey, Kurt Warner. Kurt, your son sucks, bro. Your son sucks. But they gave the lion's share of the carries to Rayshawn Luke this week. And Rayshawn Luke is a guy who levels the playing field. Rayshawn Luke right here, 12 carries. He is so fast, you got to believe in him. You got to believe in what he's doing and how he's doing it. I've been a Rayshawn Luke guy for 3 years. And he's been on the bench for 3 years. And here he is. He's finally transferred in. He moved over from Arizona, the Wildcats. And he's here now. But this guy sucks. E.J. Warner needs to stop doing what he's doing. It's frustrating. This was a full team effort, though. This was about defense. This was about special teams. And it's just about finding a way and a will to win. Shout out to Fresno State. Getting it done. Really well-coached team. I'm telling you, they won me over the way they broke Georgia Southern, but they won me over, and it's in the preseason. I tell you, oh, this team's talent is not there. The talent isn't there the way you need it to be, and it's different. It's not there traditionally. This is a fucking North Dakota State team. This is a team that's going to win in every facet of the game. They're going to win in other areas, so it's hard to assess them. They're the Bison, bro. They're South Dakota State. They're in that upper area like that. That's how they're playing. Shout out to them. Shout out to their coach. Shout out to Coach Entz. Yeah, I'm with it. Georgia Tech eventually beats Gardner-Webb. They were struggling initially, first quarter 7-6, and then they poured it on. What you need to know about this game is Aaron Philo played the entire game. Aaron Philo, my favorite quarterback, the all-time leading passer in Georgia high school history. Aaron Philo's got a bright future ahead of him. Unfortunately, he did throw a pick in this game. But look, man, 21 for 28, 373 yards. I love it. Taking a day off for the running backs, I love it. Don't give them more than 10 carries. Let them just chill. Both of them are great. Shout out to Hosley and Haynes. Receivers, my boy Jordan Allen. Jordan Allen, don't make me look bad, bro. You are one of the best slot receivers in America last year. They only gave him 3 stars because of his size. Jordan Allen is so fast. Best player at Buford for in my book. And he's here. And he finally got some burn. But he got 1 catch for 78 yards and he got caught. Come on, man. We got to score touchdowns. We can't do that. 78 yards and not score a touchdown? He's the fastest little bastard I know. 23 miles per hour kind of guy. That dude's a beast. Dean Patterson finally got some burn. Transfer from FIU, been on the bench. I bet he regrets coming over with Eric Rivers, but it is what it is. Good team. Chilling. Didn't have any issues. Shout out to them. I don't like the fact that it took him a little while to get the ball rolling, but once he got rolling, it was a wrap. Shout out to Georgia Tech. Next game, Cincinnati, Bowling Green. I was on the under. I think we missed on this. I did not expect Bowling Green to get those 10 points in the fourth quarter. That's crazy. Cincinnati came out here throwing, which is great. Good for Brendan Sorsby. We found out he's going to be throwing to Caldwell all day. That's fine. No problem. Sorsby getting the passing going. He was still the team's leading rusher. And then Dorian Pringle still playing out lights out. Dorian Pringle will not be in Bowling Green next year. Dorian Pringle led the team in tackles again. This is a linebacker at Bowling Green. He's a complete stud. Ohio kid. FBS teams missed on him. I'm right again. I'm right again. Shout out to Bowling Green. They actually showed some life in this game offensively. But and to see them rushing like Petaway to get 72 yards rushing against that stout defensive front, really impressive. But Cincinnati, no doubt in my mind, they're winning the game. No doubt, Colorado is a train wreck. Colorado covers the spread. We took them to cover the spread. Shout out to me. I believe in them. They're playing Delaware. It's going to happen. They're going to beat Delaware. Got it. But my goodness, what's going on, bro? What's going on? This guy, Nick Minichui, whatever, his arm is not strong enough. So as he's throwing, Colorado DBs were getting to everything. Now, I'm serious. They're batting down everything. But can we talk about these receivers at Colorado? There's no one to believe in. It's Sincere Brown and no one else. And he's the last guy to show up to that receiver room. So all you Colorado fans tell me how great Colorado is. They're not good. Receivers aren't good. I don't want to hear about you're going to introduce Amara Miller and Dres Miller and this Miller and this Miller. Shut up, dude. There's professional athletes, and then there's the guys you think are good. These guys are recruiting stars. That guy Brown showed up from Campbell and took over the receiver room. And he's the only guy we can believe in because he's a deep threat capability. Only guy we can believe in. But let's talk about who we can believe in. 2 players. I think this kid Taylor is got the juice. I've talked about it over and over again. DeKalen Taylor, only 7 carries for 48 yards, but he also catches passes 4 for 49. That's a guy that they need to put in advantageous positions because he's good. Now, Caden Salter, getting benched. Caden Salter gets benched. He wasn't that bad, they say. 13 of 16. What the box score doesn't tell you the truth. What it really comes down to, he's probably making mistakes, same mistakes over and over, misreads, whatever it is. And I don't like when they go and interview Coach Prime after the game and they're like, oh, what about Ryan Staub? He's like, all he needed was a chance, man. Dude, you're the coach. Give him a fucking chance. You're the guy responsible for giving them chances. Ryan Staub comes off the bench, plays his ass off, 7 out of 10, 2 touchdowns, gives the spark they need, and they end up pouring it on and doing what they can. But I'm not encouraged with any of this. It's not a good team. They're going to be a bottom feeder team going out there struggling to really put your stamp on this game and believing in your team. Like, you don't have any identity. What's your identity? You're going to throw the ball every down? You have 30 attempts, 36 rushes. So now we're going to run the ball. You're averaging less than 4 yards a carry against Delaware. Less than 4 yards a carry against Delaware. Now, we'll talk about the defensive line is stout. I think they're good against the run. Yet another a decent performance, especially after what they did against Georgia Tech where they got ran over. They did it well here, but this is Delaware, bro. They're not going to run over you. Jake Dahl's going to do what he wants. That's the Michigan transfer. Jake Dahl getting every pass that he can. Another 80-yard game. Believe in Jake Dahl. Believe in Jake Dahl. White boy, raw. Let's go. Shout out to them. Next game, App State. They really beat the brakes off of Lindenwood. Don't believe the score. The score is outrageous, 2013. I don't know what's going on here. A.J. Swan is great. Rashad DeBingen took over, almost rushed for 200 yards. They had Stroman and, Barnes. They have 2 receivers you can believe in. Like, we're going to be believing App State a ton, guys. We are. Now, they had 2 fumbles in this game, things like that, but we're going to believe in App State a ton moving forward. They're very good. Swan's playing out of his mind. Don't worry about the score. Maybe Vegas will be worried about the score. We won't. Texas State, UTSA. It was a coin flip game. I took UTSA to cover the spread. We were wrong. Texas State, nobody stopping Bo Sparks around here. Bo Sparks did it again. After scoring 4 touchdowns last week, he scores 1 touchdown this week, but 5 catches, 155 yards. No one's touching him. Let's talk about Robert Henry. Robert Henry. Can we get more carries for Robert Henry? You see 17 carries, 159 yards. It's like 9 yards a carry. Don't think he was that effective. He had 1 carry for 75 yards. So the rest of it was like 16 carries for 80-something yards, right? 84, whatever it is. So it's just one of those situations where it's like it's a little misleading in the box score. But when you look at it, you needed more production from your quarterback play at UTSA. There's just no way you're going to get 43 attempts on only 219 yards. This is bad. This is not a good number. When you're getting 5.1 yards per attempt, I don't think you're going to be effective. That's dink and dunk. That's not what you need. 5.1 yards per attempt in comparison to something that Brad Jackson did. And Brad Jackson was able to move the chains a little bit, just a little bit, 2 touchdowns rushing, whatever it is. And Jalen Jenkins has that little spark, that little boost that can just give you a little more juice, running the ball. He's in the return game. He had like 3 returns that were really good. And then you have Chris Don over here. These are small receivers. These guys are like 5'8", both of them. How tall is Chris Don? How tall is Bo Sparks? Maybe I'm exaggerating. Chris Don, 5'7". I am exaggerating. He ain't 5'8", and Bo Sparks is 5'11". Okay, so you have these 2 tiny receivers, and they just can't deal with them, bro. Can't deal with them. Them little dudes are bad. Shout out to UTSA. Didn't quite put it together. It is what it is. Feed the rock. Feed Robert Henry. Owen McCown. Go downfield. You got to play better, but it's a tough game. Both teams are very good. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose. Speaking of had to win, had to lose, Navy, always going to win. UAB, always going to lose. But in this particular game, I was impressed with some of the things UAB is doing well. Javon Jackson is running great. If you don't know, UAB starting running back Javon Jackson, former FCS All-American at Austin Peay, transferred to UTEP last year with the coaching staff. Played okay. He didn't play terrible, but even at UTEP, he only had 4 touchdowns all year. He's already got like 3 touchdowns this year. So he's on pace to do something really good. UAB's got a good rushing attack. Kitna's throwing well, and that's what kept this game close to where Navy doesn't cover the spread. But Navy also, we were on an under on it. I was on the over initially. Then we went to the under. And when I'm flip-flopping like that, that becomes a no-bet game. And sure enough, Navy does their part. Cool. Congratulations, Navy. You're a good team. UAB, figure it out. North Texas, Western Michigan. Speaking of figuring it out, shout out to North Texas. They do win the game, help us with our money line parlays and all this stuff. But, man, it was frustrating watching this game. North Texas is going to have a tough time. North Texas needs to stop Jalen Buckley. Buckley did not even do well. 30 carries, 112 yards. They just kept handing it off to him, and he kept converting. And it sucks, man. It's a pain. It hurts. Shout out to my boy Trey Williams. I pointed out Trey Williams in the spring, months ago. It might have been February, March timeframe when I told you Trey Williams is a tight end at North Texas. He's a transfer from Limestone. Transfers in. Everybody tells me he's 3rd string. He's not going to be the guy. And I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? He's the best guy on this team. And sure enough, he finally gets to play. And they got him starting at tight end. They're doing well. But North Texas finds a way to win, doesn't cover the spread. It was a lock. Western Michigan, they have a good offense. They don't have a good defense. They can't stop the run. And I understand that Western Michigan's defensive line is terrible. But why did you do that, North Texas? Like, why did you change your game plan to just start running the ball? That's not your identity. That's not who you are. 33 attempts is not enough. Mestermaker here should have 40 attempts, 50 attempts. But they ran the ball. They were effective running the ball. But this isn't who you are. You aren't what Mackenzie McGill is. You're not doing that, man. You're these receivers should all have 100 yards. Like, that's who you are. And these DBs ain't shit over you. Like, this is not a real team. But, man, it sucks. And shout out to Western Michigan. Your quarterback play is terrible. Hands down, terrible. But we can't stop this. Can't stop this. They're going to give a guy 30 carries and he's averaging less than 4 yards a carry. They don't give a fuck. They're just going to keep doing that. North Texas, please figure out how to stop the run. Buffalo, easy win. I don't think they covered the spread. It was 40 points. But easy win for them. They still don't have good quarterback play. Everybody else kind of played okay. Victor Snow is the only receiver you can believe in, and he's still not going to get what you're looking for because Roberson can't really do his thing. Good running backs. Shout out to Buffalo. Good defense. Never going to really get scored on. It is what it is. MTSU, Wisconsin, I'm not impressed. Danny O'Neill's the quarterback you got to go with due to injury. He's here now. He's former San Diego State starting quarterback. Plays okay. I wasn't too impressed in this game at all. They couldn't run the ball. Don't believe in this. Tretch is a slot receiver who got 1 carry for 61 yards. But they weren't running it all that great. Middle Tennessee, you finally show up to play some. This is what I expected you from week 1. You should have beat Austin Peay. You looked good in this game for about a half, and then it fell apart. That's fine, but man, what are we doing? Hate Middle Tennessee right now. I'm 10 units on this team's win total. Fucking hate them. I'm just watching $1,000 go down the drain every single week. Speaking of going down the drain, my assessment of Ohio in the preseason is down the drain. Ohio didn't even score in the second half. It didn't matter. They scored enough to win by halftime. That's fucking wild. Absolutely wild. They are Parker Navarro, Say Bangora, and Chase Hendricks, and nobody else. They got 3 dudes. They are a 3-headed monster. They might as well be the Dallas Cowboys with the triplets. They might as well be Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and motherfucking Troy Aikman. Like, this is crazy. Parker Navarro can't be stopped. There's other unsung heroes on this team, obviously, because the offensive line has to be good for these guys to be effective. The defense has to be good for them to shut out West Virginia like this. Like, something's just, it's great. And I got to reassess Ohio moving forward. I just have to respect them. Put some respect on their name. I'm not kidding. Shout out to Ohio. Winning the game, misread all the way. Speaking of misread, I saw an MVP on the Discord server giving out picks. Guys, give out ideas on parlays. That's cool. Give out something you think is right. That's cool. Giving out picks is probably a recipe for disaster. I know you guys get to the server. You get around a bunch of other gamblers, and you start thinking to yourself, I could do what Rico does. I could do this. I know the games better than him. I know the teams better than him. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, that's how some of you guys get. And we get this every year. We get like a group of guys on the server. There's like a little pocket of you dudes. You guys all start sending each other DMs. Start talking to each other. I know it. It gets real cliquish. And you start talking to each other on Twitter like, hey, dude, we'll start our own platform. We'll start our own picks. This guy don't even know what he's doing. He's just a square. He's just like, I see it every year. And all I ask you to do is keep track of your results. Keep track of your results, bro. And publish them. And let the world see it. And don't not for 1 week. Not for 1 month. I'm talking for fucking years. And I'm talking for hundreds upon hundreds of picks. And put it out there. And put your name next to it. Put your face next to it. You won't do it. You won't do it because you were saying you and Northern Iowa here was going to be competitive with Wyoming, which is stupid. Wyoming just shut out an FBS team. Wyoming just got done shutting out Akron. What is wrong with you? I don't give a fuck what Northern Iowa does or who you think they got. They're not scoring on Wyoming. Wyoming's a monster defensively. Shout out to Wyoming for not having any ability to throw the ball. They have their tight end, Gillenberg. They have a little wide receiver named Durr, and that is it. Running backs, don't believe this Kelman. Kelman's a transfer from Akron. He's not the running back. We know who the running back is. Big-ass white boy named Sam. And Wyoming still struggles offensively, but they're not going to get scored on. They're just deep. They're just mean. Shout out to Wyoming. Stop giving out picks on the server if you're going to fucking miss everywhere. Like, just don't do it. Go to some other server and do it. Like, make your own. Like I did. That's all I ever did, guys. Recorded it, put it on cam, and just started saying, hey, I'm RICOKNOWS. And I started giving out picks. That's all I ever did. Shout out to me. Wake Forest. I knew they weren't going to struggle with Western Carolina. Western Carolina gave up over 500 yards of offense last week to an FCS opponent, and they did it again this week to Wake Forest, who wasn't any good against Kennesaw. So this was actually a really easy call for me. Unfortunately, they didn't put out the line until Saturday morning, so I didn't make a video on it, didn't get to talk about it. But this was in my assessment, in my notes, and it's just one of those situations where I'm not going to break down every game because if you don't give me a spread, I'm not going to sit here and guess at it. I'm not that guy. So shout out to Wake Forest. They won this game. This is not an impressive win. Do not be impressed by this win. Western Carolina is really bad defensively. They did find Chris Barnes. I think it's Chris. They found Barnes at receiver, throwing him the ball a lot. Claiborne gets on track, rushing, fine. He's a good running back. But, nah, Wake Forest not it. Speaking of not it, Miami of Ohio, hero ball, not doing it. DeQuan Finn leads his team in rushing, running around with his head cut off. Not a good quarterback. Not a good team. It's not his fault. He probably is a good quarterback, kind of, sort of. He's a good dual threat athlete, not a good quarterback. There it is. Miami of Ohio just doesn't have the offensive line to be competitive this year. And I said this, and people didn't like it, and I told the truth. And you don't like it, you don't like it. But I just kept it real. And I said, hey, Rutgers is going to cover this spread, and it's a lock. And a lot of you MVPs look over this lock. But if I tell you it's a lock, it's a motherfucking lock, bro. It's there. Rutgers cover the spread, no problem. They can move the ball everywhere. That offensive line is mean. They're just going to maul you over. And Miami of Ohio will not be competitive in the MAC. They won't. They got a good coach. They don't have the players. Shout out to Rutgers. Arkansas State. I knew this was going to be an ass whooping, complete ass whooping. The over hit as well. I told you I love the over in this game, but I also love Arkansas to just cover the spread. There's just no way Arkansas State has anything for these guys at all. Taylor Green leads the team in rushing, passing. It's great. He's doing whatever he wants to do. Rohan Jones, the leading receiver, not really. It's really Omega Blake again. He's still the beast, but they're all there, so it is what it is. Nevada, Sacramento State. Heartbreak, man. I called this upset. I wanted Sacramento State to win this game money line. It was a prediction of mine. I believed in it. Sacramento State's winning the whole game. They even scored 2 touchdowns to get called back, negated by penalty towards the end of the game, and then boom, Jonathan Maldonado, pick 6 to win the game for Nevada. Congratulations, Nevada. You absolutely dog shit. I don't like the way Nevada plays. Chuba Purdy's still their leading rusher, which is nuts. 2 games in a row. Chuba Purdy, more Chuba Purdy. This is Montana State. Nevada is not Nevada. They're Montana State. That's who they are. Shout out to Jeff Schote for making them that. That's what it is. This is a Big Sky game. That's why I picked Sac State. Sac State, Carnell Williams, the quarterback. He's a transfer from Tulsa. He plays well. He does good. They had everything going. This close. Sucks. Southern Miss against Jackson State. Southern Miss did not impress me in this game. They did. Braylon Braxton played well. Southern Miss offensive line is not good enough. It's just not. They won this game against Jackson State, but it's still not good enough. Remember that. Southern Miss offensive line is not good enough. Speaking of not good enough, UMass couldn't beat Bryant. I knew it was going to be a close game. I moved it to the coin flip chart. Bryant goes out here. One MVP did say Bryant's going to win this game, and he put some money on it. Shout out to him. He got it right because he liked what he saw from Bryant last week. And that's kind of it, man. You see an FCS team on tape, and you're like, hey, I like them. Yeah, good. UMass, nobody likes them. UMass ain't good. And UMass has good running backs, like talent-wise. Yeah, UMass running backs could start at other teams. Both of them. Can't get any yards here. That offensive line's sick. That offensive line is like JUCO heaven. If you're in JUCO right now, you want to be an offensive lineman at the FBS level, go to UMass, bro. I'm serious. Go to UMass. You could be starting. You'll be better than everybody over there. I don't know who that dude's got baby fat for days. Little bunch of chubby billies. Know what that shit is. California, Texas Southern. Shout out to Cal. Covering the spread. Beating the hell out of Texas Southern. I don't know what the spread was. I'm just talking shit. Cal is great, man. They're all going to talk about Raphael at running back. Let me say something. JKS, the quarterback, or is it JSK? JSK? JKS. Just kidding. There it is. JKS. JKS, the quarterback for Cal. He didn't have a good statistical game. That's a good player. That's a good player. Cal's got a really good quarterback. I know a lot of you guys don't stay up late and watch him, but I think he's one of the better quarterbacks that nobody talks about. I think he's very good. Freshman. Transferred in from Oregon? Yeah. He's a really good player. The other guy, that hamper dude right there, that receiver, this white boy right here. Oh, no. Don't do that to me. Sorry about that. No, we'll scroll back down. He's a transfer from Idaho, and he's very good. I like that guy. He's kind of crafty, and I'm glad they got him involved in the game. So shout out to Hamper over here. And shout out to Cal. They look a little better than you think. In the ACC, Cal might win some games. They can score on anybody. So they might win some games you don't expect them to. Speaking of winning games you don't expect them to, Missouri State did it. I knew this was going to be a situation where Marshall just sucks. Everybody tell me Marshall's good this year. You don't know what you're talking about. Marshall is last chance you. I'm looking at Marshall's team and their depth. It's just a bunch of players. Marshall signed 3 guys that used to be at Marshall. Listen to what I'm saying. Marshall had 3 players that were on the team. They left in the transfer portal last year. They went to the FCS level, and they played, and they did whatever they did, and now they transferred back to Marshall because the cupboard's so bare at Marshall. They said, hey, yo, you want to come back home? You want to come back home? And that's who they have on this team now. They have a bunch of guys who used to be here. It's fucking nuts. Marshall's not good at all. And all the Marshall fans writing me on Twitter telling me, you better look out for Marshall. We're going to be good. We're going to be better this year. We don't even need those players. Yeah, you do. You need all of them. Fucking terrible. And Missouri State getting throttled by USC week 1. And then you got this kid Clark coming out. And Clark actually ran the ball as well. Clark passed his ass off. I'm learning about this guy Clark. I'm going, 359 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he can run. Missouri State, gonna win more games than you think. Gonna win more games than you think. Shout out to Marshall, bum ass. 17 points in the second quarter, and you don't score again. Like, that's crazy. ODU, no big deal here, beating North Carolina Central. ODU, Colton Joseph can't be stopped, can run everywhere, do everything. I want to talk about Little Jones, though. Little Jones over here, freshman. Pull it up. Taquan Jones. Where's he from, bro? Just Stevens, right? Stevens County? They don't. Oh, no, Florida. Who was I thinking of? I was thinking of somebody else. This is the JUCO kid. This is the kid from Georgia Military College. Man, he's got a little burst to him. You know, he averaged 7 or 8 yards a carry last year in JUCO, and he finally got some carries there. He's got some burst to him, so this guy's nice. ODU discovering players on their team and giving them a chance. I like that. You guys know I'm a big Marky James guy. Marky James, former high school film review alumni. When I did my film reviews on TikTok, helped him get some publicity out there. Told him I think he should go. He's from Delaware kid. I think you should go to ODU. Guess where he went? ODU. So he's here. He is the starting running back. But, man, this Taquan Jones dude had some juice in this game. I was really impressed with a couple of his runs. The burst is there. Shout out to him. I was thinking about another freshman. I got to find out who I was thinking about. It'll come up. Shout out to ECU. They can score a ton of points, and they blew out Campbell. Congratulations. Hauser looked the part. Moving on. FAU. Not a problem here. And Florida A&M, no shade to them, but come on, man. I just saw Velkamp throw 6 picks last week, and now he throws 5 touchdowns. You can't stop him. I'm glad, fam, you got other receivers involved, not just little Messer. They did throw to some other guys. That's good. Congratulations. North Carolina, Charlotte. This was the lock of all locks. I don't understand why you wouldn't bet on this really heavy and make your whole, double your whole bankroll. Put everything you own, sell your car, put it on them. Because I talked about this. I said, hey, guys, I know North Carolina struggled in their game. Shout out to Bill Belichick, but they're not going to struggle against Charlotte. Charlotte's not very good. Did you see Charlotte? Charlotte struggles to move the ball. Charlotte's not any good. This is a 13-point spread. No sweat for me. I'm good. North Carolina covers the spread. I got it right. I put in Lux Call. I can't do it for you. Shout out to North Carolina. Easy win. They still didn't look good. Bill Belichick, you're a bum-ass dude. Talking about the Patriots scouts are banned from the facility. You mean the players got one less team looking at them? Is that what you mean? You're holding a grudge against NFL scouts, so now they can't look at them? That's dumb. Now your players they'll only be evaluated by 31 teams. Stupid. Speaking of locks, I put them in the lock column. I can't do it for you. K-State. You fucking kidding me, bro? I told you guys Avery Johnson's the most inaccurate quarterback I've ever seen. Just every pass he throws is just a little off. I had K-State winning this game. It was a lock. And the reason behind it is Army can't run. I've seen Dwayne Coleman. Dwayne Coleman's a bum. Dwayne Coleman can't move the chains. He's a little Kyler Murray-ish as far as running the ball, which means he can't move the chains, can't fall forward, can't do anything. Bro, Army heard me. And Army went and changed their quarterback. They said, we're not playing that dude. We're playing Helms. And if you go back and watch my preseason video, when I talked about all the quarterbacks, I said, guys, there's a quarterback named Chase Helms over here at Army. I'm more interested in him than I am Dwayne Coleman. They tell me Coleman won the quarterback battle. I don't like him. I like this Helms guy. That's what I said. And then I find out Helms is starting this game, and he's about to get 41 carries for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Look, did K-State stop the run in this game? Yes, they did. They stopped the run in this game. They went in there and they held Army to 3.4 yards a carry, I think. I think it was 3.4 yards a carry. Yep, 3.4 yards a carry. You know what the problem is for K-State? 3.4 yards a carry times 3 is over 10 yards. Okay, that's the problem. It is 10.2 yards. Army is 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and they're not punting it on 4th down. They literally ran the ball 70 times. 70. That's an insane number. And only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. That is outrageous. Outrageous. And they beat the shit out of you. They beat you. They didn't beat the shit out, but they beat you. K-State. How do you not score in the fourth and give up 10 points? That's absurd. K-State. You have no dynamic athletes on this team whatsoever. No one that can stretch the field. No one that's a threat deep. No one that can do anything. K-State. You're terrible. There's no way Army should have won this game. 70 carries for 3 point. That's crazy number, bro. That's a crazy number. 3.4 yards a carry 70 times. That shit's not working. Oh, it is working. It's working over here. They're doing that little 3-inch knuckle shuffle. You guys know some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys got 2 inches of terror and you're tearing your girl up. It's crazy. I got 70 strokes in me, sweetie. All right. Anyways, shout out to Houston and Rice. Another, I thought it was a lock. Maybe it wasn't a lock. No, it wasn't a lock. It was just a lean. I believe Houston was going to beat the shit out of Rice, make them one-dimensional. They did that. Dean Connors is taking over this running back room for Houston. He got a little bit more of the carries in week one. Now he got the lion's share. Now they're really relying on him coming through. Throwing the ball, do not believe this stuff. They're always throwing to Tanner Kozil and nobody else as a tight end. So if you're going from a gambling perspective, you're there. Rice, no quarterback, just some running backs. And they couldn't run the ball in this game. If you don't know, now you know. Rice, 3.3 yards a carry on 53 attempts. Almost Army-ish type numbers, but Rice had to bail out of that and try to throw the ball a little bit, and it's not effective throwing the ball. 51 yards passing, 1 interception. Nah. Army would have went like this. Army would have went like this and go, man, we're licking our chops. Army would have loved this stat line right here. I think it's going to be a waste of talent for Aaron Turner. My boy Aaron Turner, UConn transfer, superstar stud. It's just going to be a terrible year for him coming to Rice. They can't throw the ball. He's going to be very frustrated. Don't believe in Houston too much. It did take a monumental fourth quarter to cover, but they did it. Speaking of covering, I'm sure UCF covered this spread immensely, put up a bunch of fucking numbers. Jaden Nixon's a track athlete. You're not going to catch him. Not a good running back, not a natural running back, but if he's faster than everybody on the field, which he is at North Carolina A&T, he's gone and he's going to score. So 4 carries, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. This stuff doesn't impress me. I've watched this guy play a lot of football. He watched him at Oklahoma State when he couldn't get in the 2 deep after he couldn't start over Ollie Gordon or Dominic Richardson, and then he went up to Western Michigan, eventually lost his job to Buckley again after having a good start to the season. Everybody likes Jaden Nixon because he's so fast, but he can't make people miss, can't run in between the tackles. He's just a straight line runner. He's a track star. I think his mom was a track star. I think his parents are track people. So, like, that's what he is. He's a track star. Toledo, Western Kentucky, called this one right down the middle. I knew exactly what I was doing here. McIver's still going to get yards, 235 yards. But when you look at Toledo's defensive backs, they have genuine shutdown corners, genuine elite safeties. Like, that is the best secondary in the group of 5. And if your passing attack is your primary weapon, you will not be competitive against Toledo. You have to be balanced. You have to have offense. You have to have a really stout defense. They don't have a stout defense. Western Kentucky doesn't. They don't have balance. This is a bad matchup for Western Kentucky all the way around. Toledo is built to beat the shit out of you, and they did it. And it's really simple. Like, if you go look, I can talk to you guys about this. Who have we been talking about for the last couple of weeks? Matthew Henry, the transfer from Western Illinois. Matthew Henry, down here, 2 catches, 9 yards, and a touchdown. But when you hold the star receiver from the other team to less than 10 yards receiving, and they have to start going to Musa Berry, and then nobody else gets over 40 yards, yeah, you ran into a motherfucking buzzsaw when it comes to defenses. And you couldn't run the ball against them, even if you tried to. Your number one receiver, the guy you threw to the most was Marvis Parrish. This is the true freshman running back. Those are dump-offs. Those are checkdowns because nothing's open down the field. That's what that is. Those aren't designed screens for 4 yards. Those are dump-offs because everybody's covered. Okay. On the other side, you don't need Tucker Gleason to play amazing. I told you, Chip Trainum just looks like he's finishing his runs. Chip Trainum, even against Kentucky, he looked like an effective runner. I'm so impressed. This is a linebacker that transferred, right? Ohio State linebacker, transferred to Toledo to play running back, and he just looks like a good running back. I like him. Speaking of good running back, Kenji Christian. Kenji Christian, an Alabama kid, was pretty good running back in high school. I liked him a lot. His tape looked good. He runs a little too vertical, but I'm cool with it. And then he went to Virginia Tech, couldn't get on the field. No shame. They had some other running backs. So then he transfers out of there, goes to North Carolina A&T last year and dominates on a team that only ran the ball, and he was the guy running it. So now you see him up here, and it's a 1-2 punch for Toledo that you got to really believe in. So shout out to Kenji Christian and Chip Trainum. They really put the team on their back, but it was all about that defense. And if you're going to bet on a receiver, there's only one guy, Vanderroos, and more Vanderroos. I'm sure his numbers will be big. I'm sure him and Trayvon Rudolph coming into the transfer portal, there's still no continuity there, but the numbers are going to be big for Vanderroos on the overs. You might want to take him. You might, because he's always going to be there. Defensively, they showed up, bro. They showed up. Love everything they did. They even had a pick six in this game. Shout out to Toledo. You proved me right. I'm a motherfucking problem. I'm just mad that I had this in the lock column and I moved it to the coin flip column. That's on me. And what's crazy about that is like MVPs out there will be like, Rico's locks miss. Bro, there are games I would put over there, but I don't think you guys could stomach the thought process, especially if I get it wrong. So then I move it. But got to listen to what I say. You got to listen to the confidence and the analysis. So like for this particular game, it's in the coin flip column, but why am I talking about it so much? Why do I keep saying that stylistically I believe in Toledo over Western Kentucky? And I say the only reason I'm moving to coin flip is because we don't need to try to get it right against a competitive opponent, something like that. But listen to the analysis. I go in depth on that team and the matchups because I believe in it that much. Got it right. Colorado State, apparently they robbed Northern Colorado. I saw Northern Colorado catch a touchdown in the end zone and it was called back and it was some crazy shit like that. But hey man, Braden Fowler Nicolosi finds a way to win. We'll take it. This is not a good win. This is not a good win. I'm not impressed, and I don't think Colorado State's a very good team. Memphis, Georgia State. I start getting messages. This is a lock. It's on the locks column. It's a lock, and I start getting messages. Fucking Memphis sucks. Rico, you suck. Da, da, da. Why? Because we're losing 9-7 at the end of the first quarter. Yep. And I already know Georgia State's not any good. They have no depth. I don't believe in Georgia State. What did Georgia State do? They're so terrible. They go and sign a quarterback off the street last week. You didn't even know this was possible. How's that motherfucker enrolled in classes? TJ Finley, is he a student at Georgia State? How does he start classes? How's he eligible to play? He just showed up. He's a free agent. They signed that motherfucker off the free agent waiver wire. And he showed up and he's the starter with 1 week of practice. That's the NFL, bro. He's a starter with 1 week of practice because the quarterback play at Georgia State is so terrible. And he shows up and he makes you a viable team. He immediately goes 21 for 29, 201 yards, throws a pick. But Ted Hurst now starts getting his yards because now we got a real quarterback. And my boy Ted Hurst is nice. Shout out to him. Follows me on Twitter. Friend of the channel. I like Ted Hurst. You're not beating Memphis. Memphis has running backs for days. Sutton Smith, Marky Bodiford. Those are both high school teammates. Well, they're not teammates, but they're from the same high school. Shout out to Walton. Memphis put it together, and we covered the spread. It was a lock. We covered the spread. Shut the fuck up. You damn quitters. Get away from me. Scored 21 points in the second half. Get away from me. Tulane finding a way to win against South Alabama. We got to put some respect on South Alabama, man. They got triplets as well. You can see it here. They had the statistical leaders in this game in all three phases. Passing, rushing, and receiving. All of it South Alabama. They have weapons. They have the three guys we know that can play ball. We've seen Davenport play really good football before. He's been in games in the past. Shout out to Davenport. Bullock's been one of the top leading rushers ever since he transferred from Ole Miss over here. He's here. He's still getting 100 yards. And then Voisin is bound to get 100 yards. As long as he's not wearing too many ankle braces and arm braces. And he's very injury prone. He's always wearing some type of gear. So when you see him out there, just look for the receiver wearing a bunch of fucking gear. That's Devin Voisin. But nonetheless, those teams are doing good. Those players are doing good. We got to put some respect on South Alabama. Tulane did not cover the spread. I had it as a lock. Tulane playing like shit and was down 14-0 to start the game and then came back to win this thing. They found a way to win. I'll take it. But let's talk about it. Why? Why are we even having a quarterback battle here? Retzlaff won the battle. Sullivan transferred in from Northwestern. Sullivan's a good quarterback. I like Brendan Sullivan. I like the kid. Did he transfer in from Northwestern or Iowa? Where was he last year? I don't remember. He used to play at Northwestern. Sullivan gets injured. They give the job to Retzlaff. Now Sullivan's back from injury. And now we want to give him some reps? And now we want to share time with... No, dude, no! Fuck away from me, bro. No. This is the kid I wanted to talk about, the freshman running back, Javen Gordon. Remember the name, Javen Gordon, freshman, Stevens County. Very good running back. I think he's the future. I think he's the guy. That's a beast of a player. Power 4 missed on him. This is a really good running back. True freshman. Javen Gordon. Got it? Got it. MVPs, remember it. You can come back to this results video. We'll talk about it. Shout out to him. But stop giving Brendan Sullivan any reps. Please, for the love of God. And shout out to the defense for coming through in the second half and doing their part. And then you fall apart in the fourth quarter. And we don't cover the spread. Because we had it covered. We had it covered. This is bullshit. Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan against Long Island. Eastern Michigan loses this game. Only FCS to beat an FBS. Is that right? Only FCS to beat an FBS? I think so. The reality is they couldn't stop the run. Eastern Michigan was still effective offensively. Terry Lockhart's the only guy you can bet in the receiving room, the Michigan State transfer. But they couldn't stop the run. And this does not bode well for EMU when they're playing teams like Central Michigan. When they're playing some of these MAC teams that are going to run the ball, Eastern Michigan can't stop the run at all. Long Island just kept running on them. That's nuts. It's nuts. Auburn did not cover the spread against Ball State, but they went out there and did their thing. I didn't learn anything in this game other than Jackson Arnold is still him, and that's expected. We'll keep it moving. Never fade Diego Pavia. Never fade Diego Pavia. Never fade Diego Pavia. We're down 20-10 at halftime. I don't give a fuck, bro. Diego Pavia's him. We're going to figure it out. Vanderbilt's going to put it together, and they're going to keep scoring points. Shout out to them, 44-20. I think this breaks Virginia Tech. 2 weeks in a row, Virginia Tech has been competitive for a half. They've been in those games against good teams, and then, boom, they hit a wall, and they're not any good. I'll take it. Shout out to Vandy. We'll take it. Akron, Nebraska, a total lock. I put this on the chart. I talk about it. I can't stress this enough. Akron cannot score points. Akron has the worst quarterback in the FBS. Akron has not scored a single point so far this season. They played Wyoming and Nebraska. It's just a bunch of corn-fed white boys, and Akron can't score. Finley is the worst quarterback you'll ever see. This boy, Ben Finley, 7 for 21, 54 yards. There's no way he can complete a pass. He naturally can't complete passes. I'm trying to explain it to you guys. You know, have you ever tried shagging kicks? Do you guys tried punt returning or returning kicks in the air? There are some people who can naturally tell where a ball is going to be when it's coming down. They can see it in the air, and they can just time it. It's muscle memory. It's a lifetime of doing it. You just fall, and you go get it. It's innate. You're born with it. And you can catch kicks and return punts. I know this. I was my high school special teams player of the year, my senior year. And I got a plaque and everything, right? I'm the guy. Well, you can just see them. They just come to you. Baseball. There's people in the outfield. They can see a pop fly, and they know where it's coming. They can just judge it in the air, and they can go catch it. It's an innate hand-eye coordination thing. Some of you guys, you've been out there in the outfield, and the ball gets hit in the air, and you're like, oh, shit, I'm running up. You start running up. Oh, my God, it's behind me. And now you start running back, and you fall, and you don't have a clue where the fuck that thing's coming down. You don't have the hand-eye coordination. It's not innate in you. You can't judge it. Ben Finley has a similar problem, but it's with the ball, and he can't put it where it needs to go naturally. He's Anthony Richardson. He is a white Anthony Richardson. He's a white, slow Anthony Richardson. Him and Anthony Richardson have the same problem. They can't throw the ball where it's supposed to go. You just naturally can't do it. They can work on the fundamentals. You can talk about their lower body, Rico. It's the footwork. It's this. No. You have to naturally have the ability to put it right where you want it. Right where you want it every fucking time. Like somebody throwing darts, right? You have to just, now you can practice and make it better, but you got to have the natural ability to throw passes. Bro, if I'm throwing a slant, I can literally complete a slant to anybody. I just have to see how fast you're running and know how far ahead I have to throw it in front of you. These guys can't do that. Ben Finley's the worst quarterback in America. He is. These guys have not scored a point yet, and it ain't been close. Nah, we can't believe in them. Got to fade him every fucking chance you get. Shout out to Nebraska. Dylan Raiola played great. I'm not impressed by it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Somebody wrote to me, well, what do you think about Dylan Raiola's performance yesterday? Oh my God, dude, it's fucking Akron. The Zips. They scored zip. USC, Georgia Southern. USC looks stout, man. They look good. They're scoring a ton of points. You guys better put some respect on their name. They can do it all. They can do it all for the second week in a row. Thoroughly impressed with what USC's doing. Yep. They look mean. They look mean. Michigan State finds a way to beat Boston College in double overtime. It was a coin flip game. I don't think Michigan State's the better team. They found a way to win. I picked them to win. I don't think they're a better team. I really like what Boston College is doing. Dylan Lonergan was just lacing it out there. Talk about a guy who can complete passes naturally. Dylan Lonergan, 390 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Whew. Doing whatever he wants. By the way, we hit a prop on this. You guys should have been all over it. It was a solid +2 something on the back chart. It was over here. Right here. Lewis Bond, Omari Kelly, over 45 yards receiving. Lewis Bond, over 55 yards receiving. It was a +217. And Jaden Skeet, anytime touchdown, +250. Both of those. That was a big money game. You motherfuckers over here not doing it. I don't know what to tell you. It's on the chart. Hit back-to-back +200. 217, 250. Back-to-back. Felt really good about it. I felt like this would be a shootout. Boston College is going to be throwing the ball, and Vegas got it wrong when they put Skeet at +250. Skeet is too good of a receiver, and he caught 2 touchdowns last week, and he's still +250. You can't ignore that. Go take that shit. And sure enough, he scored another touchdown. The over yards are hitting all day. The minute I saw Omari Kelly running deep outs, 15-yard outs, 15-yard outs on a timing route, meaning this guy Childs is letting the ball go before the out, before the cut, before the break. It's something they do in practice a lot. And Omari Kelly's doing that. And that I already know he's going to get over his passing yards. That's it. That's all I have to do. When I see a route, and I see a route in a game, let me explain this to you guys. When I see a route in a game that I know takes hundreds of reps and hours upon hours of practice for that route to be completed, that's when I know, okay, those guys have chemistry. That guy's going to get his yards this year. That guy's going to get his yards this game. That's how it is. I'm a former coach, a former player. I know what it takes to implement that play in the game. This isn't about holding the ball, making your reads, watching your receiver get open on a break, and then you complete the pass. No, we're talking about anticipation throws, timing routes, and reading the defense pre-snap, both receiver and quarterback on the same page, and saying, all right, I'm going to be open 15 yards down the field over here. All right, I'm going to let it go before you ever make the break because I trust you're going to make the break at the same place, at the same time, with the same muscle memory. There's something there for Michigan State. And it's Omari Kelly. And remember, he used to drop passes at Middle Tennessee. But with the speed he has, you can't get on his hip and stay with him. No, he's too fast. This is a former Auburn wide receiver. This is an SEC caliber wide receiver at Michigan State. And motherfuckers are sleeping on it. Shout out to Michigan State finding a way to win. It's a tough game. Tough game. Purdue beating Southern Illinois. Shout out to me. I have a futures bet. It exists out there. I put money on it. I have New Mexico winning 2 games, Purdue winning 2 games, and Charlotte winning 2 games. And I have it for $3,000. Purdue just won their 2 games. New Mexico has 1 win. I need 1 more from New Mexico. I still need Charlotte to get their 2 wins. But here we are. Shout out to Purdue. Thank you for beating Southern Illinois. Not a big deal. It's an easy game. Coastal Carolina. Are you fucking real? Coastal Carolina is so bad. Are we speed running Coastal Carolina into the bottom of the FBS? Is that what the fuck we're doing? I had a note. Let me see if I still have that note here. Oh, man. I had a note for Coastal. I want to control F it. Oh, I deleted it. And I wrote, this team is quickly becoming the worst team in all of college football. They're on their way, bro. This is nuts. MJ Morris throws 3 interceptions. They barely beat Charleston Southern, but they needed 10 points in the 4th quarter to beat Charleston Southern. This is crazy, bro. Crazy. Speaking of crazy, you're crazy if you believe in UCLA. I apologize for putting them on the chart in any way, shape, or form. I think the talent chart had UCLA winning, so I went with it. That's crazy. UCLA, no. Somebody asked me, how do you fix UCLA? Millions of dollars. How do you fix UCLA? You go the Texas Tech route. You find a billionaire donor and you put millions of dollars into your roster. Go hit the transfer portal, get every good transfer. It ain't about X's and O's. It's about Jimmys and Joes. It's about the guys on the field, man. It's not about the coaches. You think it is. Coaching matters when the players are equivalent in talent. UCLA, I don't know who they're equivalent to. Man, that Nico guy, I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to leave you there. That Nico dude, he's getting all the money he can right now. That's fucking DJ Ungalele 3.0. And he's getting the same advisement that DJ Ungalele's getting. And those guys are going to be unemployed real soon. And those guys are all going to be talking about the millions they made fleecing college teams because they ain't doing shit else. Shout out to their whole family. I know they don't like me. I don't like none of them dudes. Nah, they suck at football too. God, he sucks. Shout out to him. What up, UNLV? Congratulations. Way to win a game. They're 3-0, by the way. They might be the favorites in the Mountain West. Them and Boise. Louisiana finds a way to win with their backup quarterback. They really just handed it off to Davis all day. Playing McNeese, it's not that hard, but Louisiana's going to be in trouble. Daniel Bill's the quarterback for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Walker Howard's out with an injury. I'm on Louisiana to win 8 games this year. That's not happening. We can't predict injuries. And Walker Howard played like shit anyways before that. But anyways, here we are. It's Daniel Bill, can't complete passes, so we're just going to hand it off a lot. 45 rushes, 7 yards a carry. Just go out there, run over this team. Do what you want. It's not a bad team. McNeese is not a bad team. Don't forget that. McNeese is not bad. But I can't be impressed with anything. Raging Cajuns are ULM. And I hate to say that because theoretically they should be better. But they got all their good players left in the transfer portal. They got whatever's left, and it is what it is. Let's talk about New Mexico State, Tulsa. I picked Tulsa in this game. It felt like a tough game to choose. But you guys got to understand what you're looking at with New Mexico State this year. New Mexico State is not your dad's New Mexico State. They're not yesterday's New Mexico State. They're a different team. A very different team. This is a team that could only run the ball last year. Seth McGowan, Mike Washington, 2 elite running backs, just kept trading off, letting them run, and then they had the worst quarterback play in all the FBS. Now Akron has the worst quarterback play. They had the worst quarterback play last year. So they go and they get Logan Fife from Montana. He's really a Fresno State transfer. Couldn't start over Jake Hayner and some other guys. So he transfers. Here's Logan Fife. He's actually a pretty decent quarterback. And now you're looking at a New Mexico State team who throws 44 times in a game. It's a different offense. They're throwing 44 times in a game. And while I love what Tulsa did, they found Dominic Richardson in the transfer portal, former leading rusher from Baylor and Oklahoma State and all this stuff. Like, I like Dominic Richardson a lot. I like what they're doing, but this is a different New Mexico State team. It really is different. They have the ability to throw the ball. They're going to play smart. I think their offensive coordinator is given the autonomy not to be, bothered by their terrible head coach. So I'm with Logan Fife on this. I think if he makes smart decisions and takes care of the ball, New Mexico State's going to win more games than you think. I really believe that. Shout out to them. They look good. UTEP beating UT Martin. I knew it was one of these situations where UTEP just has too much team speed. Shout out to UT Martin. We like Jace Bauer. He is a UTEP caliber quarterback. Like, Jace Bauer's good. UT Martin's got a good quarterback. UT Martin's going to be good in the FCS. Don't you get that shit twisted. It's not about Malachi Nelson and his 4 touchdowns, though. That's not what this is about. What this is about for me is we finally give Hassan Wilson touches. You didn't let him carry the ball last week. All you did was throw him one pass. You didn't let him fucking run the ball, UTEP. Scotty Walden, the whole staff. I hope you motherfuckers are watching this. I looked at your 3rd-string running back for 4 fucking months. And I don't care what you see at practice. That's the best player on your fucking team. And you keep him on the bench. And he goes for 94 fucking yards, 117 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown. Why is he not touching the ball? Why is he not a part of the game plan? I'm mad and I'm yelling because you're going to lose your job. There's about 13 adult men that are going to lose their fucking job. And you won't be able to provide for your families. Because you won't start the best player on your team. You're going to average 3 yards a carry with Ashton Emery. It bothers me, man. It bothers me, but then it doesn't. Because I'm going to still be here. I'm going to be here, bro. When you all get fired, I'm going to still be making $500,000 a year or more. I'm just a dude talking to a camera. I just assess talent for a living. And Hassan Wilson is the best player on this team, not touching the ball every day. And here it is. He finally touches the ball and goes for 94 fucking yards. Don't you feel stupid? Idiots. Shout out to Kenny Odom. He's a good player. Hey, and shout out to Thomas Ansley over here. Thomas Ansley, former alumni from my old high school, where I actually played ball. He's a stud of a player. Went JUCO, and then he transferred in, and we did a high school film review on him, and he ended up at UT Martin. He's been getting burned the last 2 weeks, so I like to see him on the field, getting touches, getting playing time. I like that kid. Shout out to him. But yeah, UTEP, your whole coaching staff, and I do my best, man. I do my best to drive players your guys' way. And listen, I know director of player personnel. I know who you guys are. We follow each other on Twitter. You follow me, man. You take it personal when I criticize some of the recruits or some of the players because you think you know what's best. You're doing your job. I'm telling you, you won't have this job long because you don't assess talent correctly. You don't. Take it personal. Block me. Get mad. But fucking play the kid, man. Play the best player on your team. You got him third string at running back. You don't give many carries week one. You only throw him a pass, and the man can go for 94 yards. You're a fucking idiot, man. I watched him rush for almost 300 yards in one game at Charlotte. And guess what? Charlotte had him third string too. And Biff Poggi and his whole fucking staff, they're all fired too. You don't like my delivery. You don't like who's saying it. Fucking idiots. Arizona blows out Weber State. No big deal here. Shout out to Ishmael Mahdi. I wish you'd score a touchdown. But Noah Fafita throws 5 touchdowns. Okay. I don't know what we're doing with this. Shout out to Arizona. Another impressive win. Washington State beats up San Diego State. One of the MVPs wrote me. He's like, yo, Rico, talent chart, man. You had this shit right on the talent chart. I did. I still picked San Diego State publicly. I still said it. It didn't matter. It was a no-bet game, and at least that's how I felt. But obviously, Washington State on the talent chart is way ahead of San Diego State, and they proved it. Sometimes you got to just get out of your own way. Get out of your own head. Just like I was telling the UTEP coaches, them motherfuckers, man, I don't know what they're doing. I send them linebackers. I just want you guys to know that. I send them a linebacker on a visit. A linebacker they should believe in wholeheartedly. Didn't even offer the kid. He's better than any linebacker they got on their roster. And they didn't offer him. I don't know where he's going to end up. But I know where those UTEP coaches are going to end up. I know. They're not built for this. They belong at Austin Peay. They don't belong at UTEP. They didn't earn it. I thought they did. They didn't earn it. They don't belong there. BYU, Stanford. This is a lock. Love BYU. Stanford can't score. This was a complete lock. It was a no-sweat lock. It was like 16.5 points. It was fucking laughable. No matter what happens here, Stanford can't score. Now, BYU offensively is not great. They don't have a ton of star players. They don't have all the right pieces to go out there and explode. But they're pretty stout, and they're pretty strong. And BYU, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle in games where they're forced to keep up and keep scoring with other people. But Stanford is absolute dog shit, man. Stanford's not good. Branson's terrible. They got Andrew Luck gets more camera time than the players. Watch a game. Watch this game. We were on the Discord stage. I know this sounds crazy. You're like, Rico, how did you watch all these games? Motherfucker, I live streamed for 14 hours yesterday. And we got 4 games on at a time on the monitor. We got 4 games on the TV up here. I got 2 monitors that are rocking. I'm rocking like 12 games at a time. And we're watching Stanford on the big screen. We did the full screen Stanford game. BYU Stanford. Because it was the last lock of the night. We're up. And some MVPs are in there with maybe like 5 or 6 MVPs on the stage with me right now. Watching that game with me. And Stanford, we're just looking at Andrew Luck the whole time. We're not even watching the players because that's how bad Stanford is. I'll say it again. You're going to get fired. You can't fire Andrew Luck. He's the president or the GM or some shit like that. Frank Wright doesn't care. He's just a one-year coach. You're going to get fired, and you're going to lose Elijah Brown forever. Elijah Brown will transfer to San Diego State and be the starting quarterback if you keep fucking around. He is better than Gulbranson in every way. Gulbranson's terrible. It's the reality of the situation. It was a lock, MVPs. It was in the locks column. It was the last lock of the night that we hit. It was a no-sweat lock. Should have felt good about it. Should have woke up to some money. I can't do it for you. UC Davis getting the shit beat out of them by Washington. Cool, man. Jonah Coleman can't get stopped. I like it. One thing I do whenever I see UC Davis, I go in here and I look for Carter Vargas. He did score a touchdown last week. I always look for Carter Vargas right here. Carter Vargas is too good of a running back to be at the FCS level. This is a young man. I did a high school film review on him. He was going to go to BYU, if I remember correctly. And then at the last second, something went through, and then he ended up at UC Davis. This is him and Stacey Dobbins. These are guys that stick out to me. But Carter Vargas, that's a nicely talented kid, guys. That's a nice, talented kid. I don't think he starts. I don't know who they got going or what. That's a guy right there. Belongs at the FBS level. Somebody needs to take a chance on Carter Vargas. It's a very good player, just so you know. Of course, over here, Adam Mohammed, the Tucson kid, transferred in from Arizona, came with the coaching staff. He finally got some burn in this game. Shout out to Damon Williams, Jonah Coleman. Everybody you're looking for is good. Denzel doing his thing. This team is good. I had Washington in my top 25 to start the season. Some people don't. I think Washington's very good. Believe me. And I'm still mad about UTEP. Last game of the night, Hawaii wins. Hawaii wins. Different. Weaver starts at quarterback. They finally let him play. Luke Weaver coming in. We did announce it on the server. If you're on the Discord server and you don't live in the injury updates channel, you're losing money. There's nothing we can do about it for you. We show you right here. Micah's in street clothes. Doesn't look like he's playing. He's right here in street clothes. We release depth charts. Talked about Wisner being out. Talk about everything before the games. Who's going to do what? Every injury you need is in this channel. And you guys won't go to the channel. You're MVPs. You won't connect to the server. You won't go to the channel. We're trying to help you. Trying to make you better. We have all the resources for you. Oh, Rico, you didn't put it out on Patreon. You didn't send me an email. Send me an email with your picks, man. Fuck off, bro. Send you no damn email. Everything's posted there. Shout out to Hawaii. Much better team than Sam Houston. Sam Houston's 0-3. Sam Houston hired the wrong coach. Phil Longo's not a good coach. They won't get the most out of their team. I don't care what happens. And then Hawaii, 2-1. We're on our way. Shout out to Hawaii, man. They look the part. I'm on Hawaii all day. So I hope you learned about the teams this week. This is the results video. Hope you watched the beginning of the video. You got here. If you got here to the end of this video, you're a fucking rock star, man. You're a rock star. That means you care about your money. That means you want to learn about the teams. I appreciate you. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all. I'll catch you guys later. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm at RICOKNOWS. That's my big bro. All he knows is making money in sports, betting on the low. But if you really know him, then you know he loves college football and that transfer portal. I had to show him my film from high school. He said, kid, you got talent. You could get a division I offer if you don't get it. The process is backwards. Yeah, I just wanna put on for the home team. We just lost to the rival, and I can't let it go. I can tell that you don't know what I mean. I can tell that you don't know. That's cause you don't know Rico knows. Rico, that's my big bro. All he knows is making money in sports, betting on the low. But if you really know him, then you know he loves college football and that transfer portal. Rico told me about UFC. Rico told me about CFB. Rico said I'm better than my film. I'm a D1 athlete. Rico smarter than you think. Yeah, Rico got a mind of his own. You don't know Rico knows. That's my big bro. He told me to take the process seriously, so I went back to the film and found something they don't see. Yeah, yeah. We get better every day. I'm gonna make my brother proud. And if you ask me how, Rico told me about UFC. Rico told me about CFB. Rico said I'm better than my film. I'm a D1 athlete. Rico smarter than you think. Yeah, Rico got a mind of his own. You don't know, Rico knows. That's my big bro. Rico told me about UFC. Rico told me about CFB. Rico said I'm better than my film. I'm a D1 athlete. Rico smarter than you think. Yeah, Rico got a mind of his own. You don't know, Rico knows. That's my big bro.